Hey, what's up? What's up, Dingle Dog? This is Caleb Jones, and this is Alpha Male 2.0, freedom-focused lifestyle design for men. Your own location-independent business that sets you free, dating multiple attractive women long-term with no lying, cheating, or drama. The freest lifestyle available to the modern-day man in the collapsing era in which we live. Today is part 3 of an ongoing series where I am teaching you how to reorient your brain to actually take action on the things you need to take action upon in order to hit your goals and set yourself free. Very big topic today. Lots of slides to show you because you guys like slides. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, I will describe the slides as we go along. I will wait a few minutes to get into our topic. Actually, you know what? Let's do this right now. Before we get into our topic, I want to show you a few pictures. Hang on a second. I'm going to pull these up. Some of these pictures are pictures you guys sent me. And I went, oh, that would be good to show in a live stream. Hang on one second. You know what's really funny is I don't pay attention to my YouTube statistics because I don't care. I don't want to be famous. I don't care. I was on a meeting just about an hour ago with one of my marketing people, and we're talking about, the live stream, you get this many people, and, I noticed you get more people viewing the video after the live stream. And I said, well, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, well, let's look at my YouTube numbers. Pull them the first time in, forever. I don't look at them. They've doubled. My YouTube views have all doubled. They've increased by 100% last 6 months, few months. Yeah, on both of my channels. The subscriber count hasn't grown very much, but they've doubled. Now they're still microscopically tiny as compared to the most professional YouTubers, of which I am not. But something's going on. Holy shit! All right, let me really quick. Someone's asking what were the first videos of the series. I will cover that in a minute. I want to show you these images, and I'll answer a few questions. We'll get to our topic. And if you are listening to the podcast, by the way, this is a podcast for the audio version of this. Go to alphamale20.com/podcast. Okay, hang on. So if you could see this, this is a visual representation of all the mainstream movies coming out in 2025. This is about cultural collapse. I talk mostly about economic collapse. This is about cultural collapse. This is where the right-wingers are correct. As much shit as I give the right-wingers about their rationality about Trump and just have kids and just get married and who cares, okay, they're right about the fact that if your society loses the ability to create quality movies, TV shows, books, art, music, your society is in very big trouble. So I want you to look at this. And again, I will describe this if you're listening to the podcast. This is 46 movies that are listed here on this list, okay? All right. Now, approximately 37 of these 46 movies for next year are sequels or remakes. 37 or so of these 46 movies are sequels or remakes. Now, back in the olden days, 70s, 80s, most of the 90s, kind of the 2010s, but mostly early 90s. The way it would work is you'd have 50 movies for the year. Most of them would be very good. And you'd have 3 or 4 sequels and maybe 1 or 2 remakes. Now it's the vast majority. I mean, if I go through this really quick, Captain America 4, when Captain America's not even in it. Thunderbolts, that's the Marvel movie. Next Marvel movie, they take all the villains from all the horrible Phase 4, Phase 5 Marvel, put them in one movie. Superman, okay, Fantastic Four, Mickey 17. There's one original movie. I'll count on my fingers. Paddington 3, a new vampire movie, so that's original. But again, are vampires original at this point? I'll count it as an original movie, but are vampires really original? Aren't you sick to fucking death of fucking vampires? Snow White, Minecraft, Flower Vale Street. Okay, that's an original one. Mission Impossible 8, Karate Kid. They're remaking the fucking Karate Kid again? How many fucking remakes do they make in this fucking movie? F1, that's original. That's a Brad Pitt race car movie. Megan 2. Elio is from some other, what is it? Some Pixar thing. So that's not original. Ballerina, a John Wick story. How to Train Your Dragon. Jurassic World 4. Damien Chazelle's next film. That's original. So we're up to 5 now. Paul Thomas Anderson's next film, that's original 6. Nobody 2. Saw 11. In the 80s, when you saw a comedy movie, they would make fun and say like, Jaws 10, and it was supposed to be silly and funny and ridiculous. There's Saw 11 right there. We have become a parody. Tron 4, Mortal Kombat 2, Black Phone 2, Blade, Zootopia 2, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Avatar 3, or no, Avatar 3, Wolfman, that's not really original. Scary Movie 7. Wake Up Dead Man, okay, that's original, so we're up to 6 original movies, I think, unless I've lost count. Another original, Kendrick Lamar, okay. Something 2, I can't read it. It's kind of a blurry picture. Insidious 6. This is ridiculous. Monkey Paws 2, The Bride, okay, 7. Now You See Me 3, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Smashing Machine, all right, 8. A movie about Michael Jackson. Is that original? No. Conjuring 4, and then 28 Days Later 3. There you go. Do you see why I stopped seeing movies in 2018? You see why I did that? Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to show you another picture. What have you sent me this? And now before I show you the picture, there's a number of things wrong and hilarious with this picture. One of them is the racial component. The joke I have been making for months is Hollywood only makes movies now if everyone in the cast is 1/4 white people, 1/4 black people, 1/4 Mexicans, and 1/4 Asians. Even if it's a fantasy where that doesn't make any sense, even if it's a historical drama set in London in the 1800s, you'd have Mexicans in there. Okay, even if it's a true story about a bunch of people, Swedish people, doesn't fucking matter. 1/4 white people, 1/4 black people, 1/4 Mexicans, 1/4 Asians, and if you don't do that, you're racist. Now, if you're going to imply that I'm racist, my son is black. Go ahead and imply that I'm a racist. My son is black. My last FB before I left the United States was Mexican. I'm in Paraguay hooking up with some dark-skinned, some white-skinned, some dark-skinned Latina girls. Call me, imply that I'm a racist with my black son. Go ahead. So remember that, okay? Alien Romulus, if you saw that, that was exactly the cast. 1/4 white, 1/4 Asian, 1/4 black, 1/4 Hispanic. Okay? Now, here's the picture. Whoops, what did I do here? Okay, if you can see this, I'll describe this. Do you see why I don't watch anything new? I don't watch Rings of Power. So this is, the top part of the screen is Elves in 2001. Elves in the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies. Okay, that's how they looked. Below that is Elves in 2024. Look a little different, don't they? So let's look at the differences. First of all, and again, this is from the Lord of the Rings Amazon TV show Rings of Power, which I do not watch. It's on season 2 now. Season 1 came out 2-3 years ago. I talked about this. I got 6 minutes into the first episode. I had to shut it off. It was so stupid. It had nothing to do with Tolkien. The writing was awful. Pacing was terrible. The special effects were good, but that's about it. So if you look, first of all, in the one below, Elves in 2024, what do you have? 1/4 white elves, 1/4 black elves, 1/4 Asian elves. There's an Asian right there, another Asian there. 1/4 Hispanic elves. I mean, this guy is either Hispanic or this guy looks like American Indian, Native American Indian elves. What? Now, Tolkien said elves were fair of skin, but he was a fucking racist, so we're going to change everything. So now, some of you left-wing people in my audience have asked, well, Caleb, if the race was all accurate to the source material, then would you like it? Okay, no. Let's look at some other things irrelevant of race. These elves at the top, elves are beautiful. If you read Lord of the Rings, I've read it many, many times throughout my life. Big part of my life when I was a kid, Lord of the Rings. Okay, read it when I was 9 years old. They're beautiful. The men look good, the women are beautiful. The men are beautiful, the women are beautiful, because that's what elves are fair and beautiful to look upon. All these elves in this picture, all of them of all races are ugly. Maybe with her exception right there, this woman on the right, maybe it's hard to tell. She's kind of ugly. He's ugly. He's ugly. This is a girl or a boy, I can't tell. He or she is ugly. He's ugly. This guy's really ugly. This woman is ugly. This woman is ugly. This man is ugly. They're all ugly. The new Star Wars game, I don't know if you guys saw this. They did a video on the new Star Wars Outlaws. It's starring, of course, a strong, independent woman, and she's super ugly. And then they showed the woman, the mocap actress they based this woman on, and she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. They purposely make these people ugly because good-looking people are offensive, especially good-looking women. Okay? Next problem. Look at the outfits. In the top picture, they have beautiful, flowing outfits. They look like elves. This is, when I was reading Lord of the Rings in 1981, when I was 9 years old, this is how I envisioned elves to look. White, pristine, beautiful, flowing, angelic, because they actually are angelic creatures in Lord of the Rings. And in things like Dungeons and Dragons, elves aren't heavenly, but they are in Lord of the Rings. Okay? Look at these outfits in the bottom one. These outfits look like something, and I'm being objective here. I'm not being an a-hole. These outfits look like something you could go buy at a kid's Halloween costume store. Literally. Especially this one and this one. The two prominent ones. They look cheap. This show, Rings of Power, is the most expensive show ever made. It is either $500 million or $1 billion. I forget which one. You guys can fact check me. This show costs either $500 million or it actually cost $1 billion for Amazon. Look how cheap this looks. So the races don't make any sense. They're all fucking ugly. None of them look like elves. It looks cheap. Lord of the Rings movies cost a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of $1 billion, even if you adjust for inflation. This is cultural collapse. And this is where the conservatives, the right-wingers, are correct. This is where they're right, to be objective. Okay? All right. That was not the topic we're discussing. That was just a little bonus thing. Answer a few quick questions. We'll get to our topic, which is, matter of fact, let me bring up the slide for our topic. Hang on. Where's my slides? What the fuck is going on? Here it is. Okay. All right. Few quickie questions. Dave Grohl fathering a child outside of his marriage. Yet another example of long-term monogamy doesn't work. Why do rock stars even try it? Societal programming, by far number one. Number two, one-itis. So societal programming, everyone tells you the only proper way to love a woman is to be monogamous. False, but that's what society tells you. That's reason number one. Reason number two, one-itis. The rock star says, well, I want to fuck other girls. I'm a rock star. The girl goes, no! If you fuck someone else, okay, I'm sorry, honey. And then they get married. One-itis. And as I've said, alpha male 1.0s get one-itis harder than beta males do. Gene Simmons. I could list so many examples of this. Real alpha male 1.0s get one-itis. When they get it harder than beta males. Beta males have one-itis all the time. An MLTR past the talk still complains about monogamy via text every week or two. Never drama about it in person. Do I just acknowledge the feelings? How should I respond to these texts? You need to have a discussion with her. Here's on Alpha Male 2.0 tells a woman about something she needs to change. Look, I love spending time with you. I don't like these texts. I don't like them. You're great when we're together. I have a woman in Paraguay who's kind of like this. She's a sweetheart in real life. Text, she's a little, I don't like these texts. So I have to make a judgment call of who I spend my time with. I can spend my time with people who don't complain about my life, or I can spend time with someone who complain. I'm going to go with people who don't complain. So you can do whatever you want, but if you keep sending me texts like that, I'm going to have to make a decision. Are you planning to have another child? You teased this in a recent live stream. Cannot talk about that until October. Is your live about why tech is making monogamy impossible canceled? No, it's not. It's not on the agenda, though, but it's going to happen. Seems like a lot of celebrities would rather cheat than label themselves as non-monogamous. Not celebrities, men. Men in general would rather cheat than label themselves as non-monogamous. Correcto? Do you think this label as a cheater is still less bad than being labeled as non-monogamous to the public? Today, being labeled as non-monogamous is not a big deal anymore. In the year 2024, when I tell people I'm non-monogamous, normal people in my business life, they go, oh. If I had told them that in 2007, they'd be like, what? What do you mean? Wait, what? And they would give me this weird look. So no, we've made big strides. Do you think men who make money become attractive What? Do you think men who make money become attractive, become high value to women, all want to have multiple women, just like Red Pill says? You need to rewrite your question, Alan. I don't understand it. Mario and Deadpool, Wolverine were good. Mario was not good. That is false. Right-wing societal programming. Mario sucked. Deadpool and Wolverine was good. Alien Romulus, okay for this era. Mario was not good. I turned off Mario within 20 minutes because Mario, in order to train, had to go through that obstacle course at the beginning of the movie with the princess, and he kept failing and 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 failing. And he's finally sitting there all depressed, sitting next to the perfect girl boss princess. And the princess is like, well, it's all right, just keep trying. And he looks at her and says, you did this perfectly the first time you tried it, didn't you? She goes, yeah. And I'm like, click off. Did you like Alien Romulus? It was okay. They fucked it up with all the references. And I didn't like the 1/4 white people, 1/4 black people, 1/4 Asian. Every movie has to look like Los Angeles. According to stats, only 25% of married men cheat. You are incorrect. 77% of people, men and women both, will eventually cheat if the marriage becomes long enough. You need to dig deeper into the stats. When you look at stats for marriage, you don't look at one stat and go, oh, well, there it is. You got to dig a little deeper. It's not 25%. It's 77%. And a lot of people get divorced before they cheat. So you have to factor that in there too. How can you say monogamy doesn't work? Because I look at the real stats. In your experience, how much of men cheat? The vast majority of men cheat if the relationship lasts long enough. A lot of men, the woman dumps them before they get a chance to cheat. A lot of men will cheat. It's around 77%. Elves are Maiar. They are not. Elves are not Maiar. We're doing nerd Lord of the Rings now. I should do a whole live stream on nerd shit. Should I do that? You guys let me know if you want to do a whole live stream on games and Lord of the Rings and Dungeons and Dragons and you know, Game of Thrones and Malazan, Book of the Fallen. And I'm happy to do that if a lot of you want to do that. Most of you don't want to hear about nerd shit. Elves are not Maiar. Elves are one level below Maiar. You have Valar. You have Eru, Iluvata. Then you've got the Valar. There's 15 of them. Morgoth is the most powerful. Then you have Maiar below that. Balrogs, Sauron, Gandalf, Saruman. Below that, you have elves. And then below that, you have humans. And dwarves or humans are kind of outside that zone. Yeah. There's very serious men like Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders more attractive to women than extroverted men. Some women like introverts, some women like extroverts. Depends on the woman. I can see where you're coming from. I didn't register that. Right, you didn't register it. Have you guys heard Red Letter Media? Jay and those two guys who review movies, they've been around forever. He has a statement. He said, you didn't notice it, but your brain did. So you didn't notice that was a left-wing movie, but your brain noticed. Subliminal societal programming. Nerd stream would be good. Christmas special, maybe. Oh, that's a good idea. Do a Christmas. That's a very good idea, Ian. That's a really good idea. Do a Christmas nerd or just shoot the shit with Caleb special. We can talk about anything you want. Just random pop culture shit. Let me think about that. You guys give me more thoughts. That's a really good idea. I'm very tempted. All right. Hell yeah, do a nerd podcast. Let me know. I need to get lots of suggestions, not just 3 or 4. I need to hear a lot of you do that because a lot of you be turned off. Like, I don't want to hear about Lord of the Rings. Fuck this. I want to talk about fucking girls. Halloween. I don't like Halloween. I do it Christmas. Oh, I guess I can do Halloween too. This is Halloween. All right, let's get to our topic. Actually, before I show the slides, I'm going to give you the background for this. So hang on one moment. I'm going to pull up. This topic is one of the most important topics that I have been talking about lately. This is about how to destroy your current self and become your real self in terms of how you've been wired. This is the third part of a 3-part series. I think this is the final part. I might be able to do a 4th part of this, but I don't think so. What you want to do, if you have not listened or watched the first 2 podcasts of this, you definitely want to do this. The part 1 was a podcast I did about back in June. The title of that and the way you can find these is on the Alpha Male 2.0 YouTube channel or the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. Alpha Male 2.0 podcast is at alphamale20.com/podcast. You can look at either one of these places. They'll both be there. They're both identical. And when you go to the YouTube channel, you have to click live, not videos. So you go to my YouTube channel, Alpha Male 2.0. Instead of clicking videos or for you, you click lives. You go down. So the first one was called, part one was called How to Use Pain as a Motivator to Take Action. Watch that or listen to that if you didn't before. Very important. This will make a lot more sense if you watch that first. You don't need to watch that, and I'll review a few items from that. I'm just telling you, if you haven't watched that, you have no idea what I'm talking about, go watch that or listen to it, okay? Part two was titled Transform Your Life, Why Work Equals Joy, the Specific Science. That was part two to this series, okay? This is now part three, okay? Now, paleo-compatible dopamine. It's a term I've come up with myself. I coined this term. I mean, if you Google it and find it, I never heard of it. Before I get into this, I'm going to show you 2 or 3 slides from one of the prior installments, just so that you know where I'm coming from on this. So, matter of fact, let me kill this slide, bring up a different slide. Okay. So these are 1 or 2 slides from part 1, just as a quick review of this one concept. Again, go watch those podcasts if you haven't yet. All right, very important. In order to achieve your goals and do what you want here in Alpha Male 2.0, your location-dependent business that makes at least $7,000 a month, more if you want, and having sex with at least 2 attractive women on a regular basis, attractive to you, okay? And then number 3, if you're over the age of 35, being very healthy, physically healthy if you're over the age of 35. These are the 3 benchmarks of Alpha Male 2.0. If you've not accomplished these things yet, or you're kind of accomplished, but they're not 100%, here's what you have to do. In order to do this, you must murder your current self and replace him with your future self. Your current self is kind of this little monster. He's like Gollum in Lord of the Rings. I don't want to go on dates. It's too much work. Women are whores. Like that kind of stuff. I don't want to make a lot of money. What if I choose the wrong niche? I'll just stay at my job. That's your current self. In order to achieve your objectives, you got to become your future self. Ideally, Alpha Male 2.0. That's what we're talking about here. This is what I did in my financial life, and then a few years later in my woman life. I'm currently doing this in my physical life. It's been hard, but I've made some strides. I'm not there yet. So I went through this process myself. I had to take my current self and kill him and replace him with my future self, or else you won't get anywhere. The current self must die for the future self to replace the current self. Now, here's the problem. The current self, your current self, is an organism just like any other organism. It wants to survive. You guys back in the PUA days, mystery method, what did mystery keep saying over and over and over again? The goal of life is genes is to survive and replicate, survive and replicate, survive. That's why life exists, to survive and replicate. That's it. That's it. That's it. Right? So your current self wants to survive. He doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay and keep you miserable, keep you a slave, keep you your 9-to-5 job, keep you in your horrible monogamous relationship, or keep you not having sex, whatever your current scenario is you don't like. He wants to keep this. So here's the problem. Your current self is you. So he knows all your tricks. He knows all your distractions, desires, fears. He knows every button to push to get you to do what he wants, to get you to stay the way you are. Okay? So here's some examples of what the current self does. And again, I covered this in the prior part 1 podcast and part 2 podcast. I gave the names earlier. Fear. He makes you scared. Oh no. What if I start my own business and I lose all my money? Procrastination. I don't need to do this now. America's collapsing, but Trump will extend it. So I don't need to do anything now. It's fine. Rationalizing. Well, it's not that important. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's fine. Regression. Well, my life sucks, but it's not that bad. It's not that horrible. I mean, yeah, I'm not an alpha male too, but it's not that bad. Listing questions, listing excuses. Well, what if I pick the wrong niche? Well, what if I waste 6 months of my time working on the wrong business? Well, what if I go on a date and she yells at me? Listing, being a pussy, excuses. Well, Caleb can do it. He's really confident. I'm not confident. Well, this guy over here, he can do it. He's an extrovert. I'm an introvert. I can do it. Sour grapes. This is black pill and MGTOW, sour grapes. Well, being rich, that's for assholes. I'm not an asshole. I don't want to be rich. I don't want to make a lot of money. Only douchebags have sex with like hot Instagram girls. I'm not a douchebag. You know, I'm a real man. I'm not a douche. I'm not playing their game. This is sour grapes. Laziness. You know, I had a really rough week this week. I'm just going to watch. I'm going to play video games all night because, you know, I worked yesterday. I worked on this weekend. I'm good. I worked on this now. I can take a break. All of these things are your current self rising up and saying, I'm going to survive. You're not going to replace me, motherfucker. That's your current self. The current self that you don't want to be. Okay? The only thing that overcomes and kills the current self is right action. Taking the correct action that actually moves the needle forward. Action that improves your condition. Not thinking about your business. That doesn't improve your condition. Not listening to another podcast on how to do a second date. That's not improving your condition. Getting out in the real world and doing it. Okay? So, go back and watch those part 1 and part 2 of that podcast. I'm going to give you the names again really quick. That podcast you listen to this to is called, on my Alpha Male 2.0 channel or the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast, How to Use Pain as a Motivator to Take Action. Go watch or listen to that whenever you have time. Part 2 is Transform Your Life, Why Work Equals Joy, the Specific Science. I know it's a long time. That's part 2. Today we're going to discuss part 3. You don't need to do those right now, but you can if you want. If you watch the replay of this, you can listen to those 2 first and then watch this. Don't need to, but you could. Okay, very, very important. All right. Now, let's get to our topic today. Finally, as a precursor to all these fucking topics, right? Paleo-compatible dopamine. What the fuck does that mean? This is how we continue to destroy our current selves, replace them with our future self. What I call my future self, I call it when I do my affirmations and I think about this for me, because I'm going to talk about what I'm doing here. I think about this as my true self. Instead of saying future self, I say true self. It resonates a little better with me. It might resonate better with you. So, in the modern era, there's been a lot written about this. We are all dopamine addicts because the internet, porn, phones, TikTok, whatever, YouTube, we're all dopamine addicts. All of us. You're a dopamine addict. It's a question of how much of a dopamine addict you are. So am I. I'm not nearly as bad as most of you. I'm going to discuss that specifics in a minute. But we all have these addictions to dopamine, which fucks us up. Here are some examples of your addiction to dopamine. Scrolling on your goddamn phone, especially short form videos since TikTok was created. This has taken this dopamine addiction to new heights. Scrolling Instagram stories, reels, scrolling on YouTube, especially YouTube shorts. And I notice now when you go to the YouTube app, the first thing that comes up are shorts. Click these shorts because the elites want this. I'll discuss that in a second. Twitter counts as this. Scrolling through political shit on Twitter. TikTok, absolutely. All this shit. Porn. Watching porn, jerking off to porn, watching porn and not jerking off. This is now an addiction that a lot of you have, isn't it? I get a lot of emails from you guys. Porn addiction has become an epidemic because of this stuff. We had porn in the 80s. We weren't addicted because we didn't have phones going, right? Now, it's not just porn. Any sexual imagery on the phone or TV or a screen. For example, Instagram. Millions of men out there in the world use Instagram as de facto porn. They subscribe to these hot, smoking hot Instagram models with the big titties, and they're in their swimsuits and they're, you know, on Capri Island or whatever, laying out on the beach and, you know, squeezing their boobies together. They're not nude. They're not having sex. They're fully clothed, or at least mostly clothed, right? In bikinis and things like that. And you're jerking off to pictures of these women, or you're slobbering all these. Oh my God, she's a woman. That's the same category as porn. Doesn't have to be naked people having sex with each other. It can be people that you're looking at on a screen. Hot people, hot women. OnlyFans obviously is another component of this. But again, there are women who are killing it on OnlyFans who are never nude. Okay? Instagram's become a mountain of this stuff. And I know because I have sex with these women, these Instagram girls. See, that's the difference. You're looking at them and jerking off to them. I'm having sex with them. Cover that in a minute. Right? I'm not saying you have to have sex with Instagram models. Stay with the point. Don't be stupid. Drugs. The Western world is now more drug addicted than ever before in all of human history. And it's going to get worse as the collapse continues. Prescription drugs, marijuana, non-prescription drugs. The numbers are just fucking staggering. I'm working on a new book. Should be out in December, I hope. And the numbers are just fucking depressing. I'm including prescription drugs. That counts. Isn't fentanyl a prescription drug, or really started one? Right? Is that right? I don't know. You can fact check me on that if you want. Prescription drugs. That counts. Matter of fact, that's worse in many cases. And as I always say, yes, marijuana and coffee are drugs, you fucking moron. As I've said maybe 500 times, this is very hard to penetrate some of your brains. This is societal programming. This is the strength of societal programming. Just because societal programming says a drug is acceptable does not mean it's A, not a drug, and B, not bad. Coffee is a drug and it's bad. I've never drank coffee in my life. Marijuana, especially if you're under the age of 25, is bad. It doesn't matter if everybody smokes it. What have I said about the United States? How the United States is different from all other countries of the world when you go there as a visitor? The two differences is gigantic, huge, fat people, not overweight people. Everyone has that. Every country has that. Gigantic, huge, fat people. No one has that except the United States. And everywhere you land in the United States, every city, you pick the city, doesn't matter what city, you smell weed. You smell weed everywhere because everyone's smoking weed because every United States is pissed off and depressed. Weed is bad, especially if you're under the age of 25. It fucks your brain. Just because everyone does it, just because society says it's okay, just because your mom does it, just because all your friends do it, and everyone says it's fine, doesn't mean it's good. My favorite, I've used this example before. I wrote in my original version of The Unchained Man in 2014, don't drink fucking coffee. Coffee is a stimulant. If you pick a stimulant every fucking day, it's going to fuck up your brain and fuck up this and fuck up that. And then many years later, Alex Becker, who I like, came out with a video saying, I stopped drinking coffee for 30 days and my life transformed and now everything's great. And then a bunch of you in my audience said, hey, Caleb, have you seen the Alex Becker video where he said, don't drink coffee? What do you think about that? Motherfucker, I told you that 10 years ago. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. Okay. Fentanyl is a prescription drug for most extreme pain, but people get hooked on it. Right. So it is a prescription drug, so that counts. Right. Video games, obviously. I have not played a video game since 2018. I made that decision in 2018. I have been playing video games since 1981. I was playing video games since before most of you hearing the sound of my voice were born. And I stopped. Why? We're going to talk about why. I'm going to do it again. I would love to play Baldur's Gate 3. That looks so good. God damn it. I can't fuck my dopamine. I got shit I got to do. I have money to make, empires to build, women to have sex with. I'm already having sex with women, but places to go, people to see, people to do. Wink, wink. Binge watching on streaming. This is different than watching TV, although it's similar. Binge watching. When people were binge watching the entire season of Game of Thrones on a Saturday, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You have 9 hours of free time to sit and stare at a screen? Jesus fucking Christ. You guys still do this. Here's one I've been screaming about for about 10 years. A lot of you are guilty of this. By the way, a lot of you are guilty of a lot of these things. Getting mad about and or arguing about politics on social media, especially Twitter, but YouTube too. Screaming at other people on the other side and doing your stupid fucking memes and insulting people on Twitter and all about a collapsing country, which will collapse even if you re-elect Trump. It's not only is it childish and stupid, it's literally a waste of time. If this was, 1985, it'd be valid to discuss politics before America was collapsing. Today, you're addicted to this shit. Here's a great example of this. Let me talk about that really quick. I have heard several prominent internet personalities. I'm not going to mention any names. You guys know a lot of these people. I'll mention one name because he's no longer active, Roosh. I pick on Roosh a lot, but I can do that because he's no longer really active. But a lot of guys have said this since Roosh. Roosh was saying this back, 10 plus years ago. A lot of people have said, including Roosh, when I get involved in politics and the internet and I'm screaming at these feminists, I'm screaming at these left-wingers, I'm screaming at these socialists, I'm screaming at these atheists or whatever people you hate, or if you're a left-winger, okay, some of you are left-wingers, I'm screaming at Trump supporters, I'm screaming at Republicans, I'm screaming at Christians. Okay, These people will say, I know this is bad for me. This makes me angry. It makes me paranoid. It affects my sleep. It fucks up my life. I shouldn't do this. But then they say, so I try not to do it. But then I see something and I, quote, can't help it. I have to respond to these people. You're a dopamine addict. Getting mad is fun. You're a dopamine addict. You're an addict. You're a heroin addict. The difference is it's yelling at feminists instead of shooting a needle in your arm. You're still a fucking addict. You can't control your own actions. Okay? And I know a significant percentage of you hearing the sound of my voice right now are in this category. You can't help talking about politics. And I know from your questions you asked me if you are addicted to political bullshit. I mean, you guys, a bunch of you said back a few months ago or a year ago, Caleb, what do you think about the Canadian trucker protest? As soon as you ask me that question, I know you need to stop watching politics for 30 days. Caleb, they launched missiles at Israel. Are we going to World War III? As soon as you ask that question, I know you're fucked up. You left-wingers have been asking me about, oh no, Caleb, Project 2025. Oh no. As soon as you say that, I know you've been paying attention to too much political information. On the right, any of you said, Caleb, what do you think about Vivek Ramaswamy? As soon as you say that, I know you're addicted to stupid political information. You need to take a 30-day diet. I'm going to get questions on this live stream, and I'll point them out when I see them. On people, I'm going to get the questions like, you are addicted to stupid political shit that doesn't make any sense and doesn't help your life and just serves to piss you off. Okay. Modern day food. And I say modern day food because that's different than ancient food, which we'll discuss in a minute. They call that, and I think it's a good term for it, SAD, S-A-D, the standard American diet, which is ice cream, burgers, French fries, pizza, and other cultures that Americans have co-opted. Burritos from Taco Bell are not Mexican, they're American food now. Sushi, in many respects, has become almost kind of an American food. I know it's not, but the standard American diet. A bunch of preservatives, chemicals, artificial flavors, sugars to make it taste really good, and spike your goddamn dopamine to the ceiling. This is my issue. Now, my issue isn't sugar. I stopped eating sugar a year and a half ago. See, I walk my talk. I was able to do these things. So I don't have most of these problems. You guys do. And you won't have all these problems. You'll have some of these. Some of these you'll like, oh, that's me. But I still like bread. I like pizza. I don't like sugar anymore. I'm not a sugar guy anymore, but ooh, pizza smells good. You know, here in Paraguay, they have empanadas at a fast food place that's only in Paraguay called Don Vito. They ripped off The Godfather. And there's these little circular empanadas. Oh my, they're just bread with like cheese inside and like onions or pepperoni or, woo! They're great. You're a dopamine addict, you like the soup. And I am too, for this one piece. Working on it. Okay? Now, your addiction to these things, what is the result of these addictions? So what if I'm addicted? So what? Here's the problem. It murders your focus and your productivity. One of my mentors, probably my all-time most important mentor of my entire life, is a man named Brian Tracy. He's not super active anymore. He's an old guy now, but this is back, excuse me, back in the 90s. Hang on a second. Back in the 90s, he said the two most important things to become a successful person is, number one, focus. Number one on his list was focus. We have now murdered our focus because we're addicted to all this dopamine shit. I'll give you a specific example in a second. He said number two, by the way, is to fail faster. This is the problem with listics. They never want to fail, so they stay in their 9-to-5 jobs their whole lives. Or they stay in the boring, abusive, monogamous relationship their entire lives. Or they're black pill and they never get laid their entire lives because they don't want to fail. They don't want to be rejected by any girls. So, I'll just stay right here. Fail faster. I fail all the fucking time, which is why I make a 7-figure income. I travel the world. I have a woman life that is better than rock stars because I fail all the fucking time. And I've lived this life for 17 years now. This ain't new. Okay? So here's some specific examples of what people now are like because of these dopamine addictions. People can't fucking read anymore. They can't read. They don't read books. They listen to audiobooks. You know the number of people I've talked to, including people close to me, people in my family, people I know, friends. I can't sit down and read a book. I can't do it. I can only listen to audiobooks. People didn't say that 25 years ago. Everybody says it now. Ask yourself this question, especially if you're under the age of 50. When's the last time you sat down with a paper book on your couch in a cozy chair and read for an hour? Oops, probably never done it in your life. Some of you have never done this in your life because you can't. People don't fucking read anymore. This is why I stopped blogging. I'm blogging again now because you guys demanded it. I'm in a niche where people like to read articles. Great. So I'm blogging again. But I stopped blogging back in 2019? Because I saw the people leaving blogs and going to fucking watch videos. That was before TikTok took off. I'm like, yeah, I was right about that. Why can't they read? A, their IQs are dropping. That's happening all over the Western world. B, they can't focus. They can't sit down and read a book. They got to check their phone or do something else or jerk off or something. Horrible. People can't sit down and work on a project for as little a time as 1 hour. You can't, most of you do not have the ability to sit down at your keyboard and work on a project in your own Alpha 2.0 business for an hour straight. You got to take a break. You'll get distracted. Oh, I can't do it. Because you can't focus anymore. People think Pomodoro is some great revolutionary idea. Now, if you don't know what Pomodoro is, it's a time management technique. It's where you take a break every 25 minutes. You take a 5-minute break. It's a 5 or 10. I think it's 5. You set a timer for 25 minutes, work for timer goes off. Oh, thank God I can take a break. And they think that's a great fucking idea. You can't work for 25 minutes? You're typing on a goddamn keyboard. It's not like you're out digging ditches or running marathons for 25 minutes, you big pussy. I work in 2 to 3 hour blocks of time. I set a timer and I work for 3 hours and then I stop and I take a break. Sometimes 2 hours, depends on the day, depends on what I'm doing. 2 hours. Most of you can't do this because you're a dopamine addict. You can't focus that long. You're at 25 minutes, you're freaking out. You want to take a break. People didn't have this problem 25 years ago, 30 years ago. People can't, I mean, you know this. Many of you are in this category. Many of you are dating women in this category. People can't carry on a long conversation with a human in real life without fucking looking at their phone. Now, I'm not going to depend it. I don't care if people do that. A lot of red pill guys get very angry when women do this in front of them. I don't care, but I do notice it. One of my girls here in Paraguay, I mean, she just can't pull the phone away from her face. I don't care. But good luck with her trying to build a business or build a life. A lot of you are in this category. You can't. When I talk about soft nexting, okay, we have to soft next a woman. And one of the techniques is if she starts blowing up your phone as you leave, put your phone away. Turn your phone off and put it away for 2 hours. Some of you idiots will say to me, I can't put my phone away for 2 hours. You're an addict. You're a psychopath. They'll use the excuse, well, I can't for work. You're on call 24/7. You can't be away from them for 2 hours. Do you realize what a slave you are? I don't have that problem, and I probably make 10x what you make. What the fuck are you doing? You're just addicted to your goddamn phone. On my phone, which I'm looking at right now, my phone is my camera for these videos. On my phone, I have no notifications. It's silent all day long. Used to have just no social media, and I left on like SMS and WhatsApp. Now that's silent. That phone is on silent all day long. There's no notifications except for my WhatsApp numbers. And I have 2 of them. I have a Dubai one and a USA one. And only certain people have that number. And that's on silent. I don't have this problem. People, here's a big one. People freak out if they're not listening to something. Music or a podcast or a TV show in the background. They have to have constant noise going. A lot of women are like this. A lot of you are like this. I've dated women. My first wife was like this. Had to have constant noise going on. I can't have silence. I'll freak out. You're a dopamine addict. You're insane. I've talked about this where, especially young women, I've dated a lot of young women. Back when I used to drive a car, I would drive in my car and the woman would be sitting next to me in the car and she'd want to turn on the radio and listen to music. It's fine. Young girls like their stupid top 40 music. So here's what would happen is they turn on the top 40 music, they listen for a few seconds, and then they turn and talk to me. I'd be like, you want to listen to music or you want to talk to me? So they start talking to me, and they'd have to talk over the music because the music real loud. Hey, Caleb, yeah. And I go, what? What'd you say? We have to talk, we have to yell at each other in the car over the music. So do they want to listen to music? No, they wanted to talk to me, but they wanted music in the background. So what I started doing with women, and they hated it, is, and I had to train women about this, many women, and not just young girls, women in their 30s were like this. If you want to listen, this is while I was driving in my car and she's the passenger. If you want to listen to music, you can listen to music or you can talk to me. You can't do both. I'm not going to yell over the music. You can talk to me. I guess you could talk to me, but I'm not going to respond. Alpha male 2.0s, we don't tell women what to do. So you can turn on the music. I'm not going to respond to you. If you want me to talk to you, there's no music. And I would have women say, I want to listen to music. Then I'm not going to talk to you. No, okay, I just want to listen to music. Okay, they turn on the music. I had 2 women do this that I remember. Turn on the music. You know, they listen to the music for about 30 seconds, and they would like want to talk to me because girls like to talk. And they would be like, oh, I can't stand it. And they turn off the music and then talk to me. And they didn't like that. Here's another thing. Women who need to have sex, and some of you need this. Some men need. I don't have sex with men, so I'm not sure how men work with this. Women are like this, a lot of them. They need to have music going on during sex. They can't just listen to the sounds of sex. They have to have music going on. Some women are extreme about this. Some women prefer it, but it's okay if they don't. Some women don't need it, but a lot of them do. And a lot of you, I have a feeling, you need some noise going on in the background while you're having sex. Isn't sex enough fucking dopamine? You need more fucking dopamine when you're having sex? What the fuck's wrong with you? You're an addict. These are all bad. Lastly, and this is not an all-inclusive list, people can't fucking sleep anymore. As I've said 10,000 times, my Oura ring is right here on my finger. I look at this every morning. I get 8.5 hours of sleep every fucking night with rare exception. Are there exceptions? They are rare. Like when I travel and I'm jet lagged, or if I'm sick, or if, I had to stay up late for an event or something. These are rare. 8.5 hours every fucking night, because sleep is the most important thing for your long-term health and long-term longevity. It is more important than exercise. What? Yes. It's more important than diet. What? Yes. I didn't say diet and exercise are not important. Okay, fitness nerds, listen to what I'm saying. I didn't say they're not important. If you rank them on the hierarchy, sleep is number fucking 1. And what's hilarious is I will tell normal people in the normal world I get 8.5 hours of sleep, and they're shocked. They go, what? How the fuck do you do that? I'm lucky if I get 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Yeah, you can't sleep because you look at your phone right before bed and you're thinking about this shit in your head, about this dopamine shit and, politics and hot girl on Instagram and swiping through. Yeah, you can't fucking sleep. And then you wonder why you're fucking miserable and irritable all day. And why your testosterone's in the toilet. And why you're stressed out all the time. Because you're not sleeping, dumb fuck. All these things occur because you can't fucking focus. You can't focus because of your multiple dopamine addictions. That's why you can't sit down and build your Alpha 2.0 location-independent business. That's why you can't sit down and plan out your week for your dating activities for the week. Online dating, day game, night game, social circle game, referral, whatever you're doing. That's why you can't get off your ass and go out in the real world and have sex with real women. Or it's also why you don't have the balls, those of you in monogamous relationships or marriages right now, you don't have the balls to tell your wife or girlfriend, hey, look, I'm going to make a change. This isn't working. I love you. I'm going to make a change. Well, I can't do that. You have multiple dopamine addictions. You can't do this. You can't derive the focus necessary to get this stuff done. And remember, just this is a little icing on the cake for you guys, especially you right-wingers, but a lot of you left-wingers too. The elites want you like this. Mark Zuckerberg wants you like this. Bill Gates wants you like this. Donald Trump, you Trump idiots, wants you like this. You think Donald Trump wants you like me, not giving a fuck about America, I'll just leave? Oh, no. He wants you angry at Kamala and the left-wingers. He wants you engaged with all this crap. Kamala Harris also likes you like this. The elites want you like this. You are doing exactly what the elites want you to do. You are a slave to the elites, unlike me. I'm one of the few people on earth who lives my own life external from the elites. I'm non-monogamous. I'm offshore. I don't live in any one country. I don't have residency in any one country. I don't have money or banking in any one country. I have customers all over the world. I'm completely outside of that system. You're ingrained in that system because you're on fucking TikTok and Twitter and listening to podcasts all the time. And okay. Now, something else on top of this. If we don't know if this will ever happen, this may not happen. I don't know if this will happen or not. This is all a guess. Whenever I talk about AIs, people say, why do you think AI is going to do this? I don't think AI is going to do it. I said it might. I could be wrong. We're guessing. I don't know what AI is going to do. We don't know. But it is entirely possible if and when AI takes over, if it takes over. One of the theories is, and this may or may not happen, we don't know, is that AI will also want you like this. AI will want you docile. So if AI takes over, it's going to figure out a way where you plug in something in your head or you put on your VR goggles and you can have sex. You think you'll be having, it'll be simulated. You can have sex with the hottest, smoking hot 10s you ever all day long. You could live in the Lord of the Rings or Star Wars fantasy world. Sounds cool. Sounds cool to me too. But you'll be doing that shit all day long. Yeah, I'll be good. I want these people docile and relaxed. I don't want them engaged and thinking critically. So not just the elites want it, AI may also want it. George Carlin said this 35 years ago, or 25 years ago. The elites want you just smart enough to operate the machinery and manage the paperwork, but no more. That's all they want. So schools, public schools and private schools, that's all they want, is just smart enough to do the basic shit to run society so the elites can maintain power over you. So you are basically sucking the elite's dick by being addicted to all this dopamine shit. Now, if you don't care, do whatever you want. Now, these are the actual symptoms of dopamine addiction. I copied this list from a lot of doctors and therapists' websites and stuff. So this is not my information in this one slide, but this is what they're telling me. This is what they're saying to the world. These are the symptoms of dopamine addiction. Anxiety. You know anyone with anxiety? We have an entire generation where everyone has anxiety called Gen Z. Gen Z girls and most Gen Z boys. They all suffer from anxiety. All of them. That's the future of the United States, by the way. Mania. That means being manic, doing crazy shit, acting crazy. Increased stress, of course. Insomnia. What did I just say? No one can sleep. Right. Irritability. Sound familiar? Aggression. The negative kind. I added the negative kind. In my opinion, the word aggression is too broad. I think there's two kinds of aggressions. There's negative aggression and positive aggression. I'm extremely aggressive, but it's positive aggression. I aggressively go after my objectives in life. Negative aggression is the Andrew Tate thing. You know, someone says, you look like shit. Fuck you, I don't look like shit. That kind of stuff. Trump's Hitler. No, he's fucking not. You fucking left with. That's negative aggression. Okay. So you see all this shit on here? Do any of these symptoms sound familiar? Do any of these symptoms describe you? Most of you have at least two of these things. Do I have any of these things? Anxiety, no. Mania, no. Stress, no. Insomnia, no. Irritability, no. Negative aggression, no. I don't have any of these things. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm overweight. Clearly, I'm not perfect. But I have none of these problems. The vast majority of you have at least, I would guess, two of these. The vast majority of you. Not all of you. But the vast majority have at least two of these things because you're a dopamine addict. Sound familiar? Irritability. Increased stress, anxiety, aggression. Sound familiar, motherfucker? Now, not just you, but with people you follow on the internet who you think are good. Let's randomly pick a few names. Andrew Tate. Negative aggression, irritability. Donald Trump. Mania, insomnia, irritability, negative aggression. Probably increased stress too. I don't know about that. Jordan Peterson. Have you seen him on Twitter? Mania, increased stress, irritability. I don't know how he sleeps. Maybe he sleeps now since going on carnivore. I don't know. So not only are you experiencing these things, and I could go on, I could list another 25 names, could not. You follow people, some of you unfortunately worship people who are suffering from these same problems. So to you, they're, quote, normal. No, they're not. They're fucking up your life. Here is the wrong solution, at least in my opinion. Now, to be clear, I'm not a psychologist. My dad is, but I'm not. I'm not a psychologist. I have no training in this area. I'm just a dumbass who did a lot of research and have worked with thousands of people. So I observe and I make notes. So in my opinion, here is the incorrect solution. This is where people go the opposite extreme. There's a lot of this on the internet. Some of you have been involved in some of this stuff. The dopamine detox or the dopamine diet, where you say, no dopamine. Dopamine is all bad. Get rid of all dopamine. I think that's a mistake. Human beings have been doing dopamine shit for 150,000 years, but only the last 20 or 30 have they had these dopamine problems. So the issue isn't just dopamine. It's a little more complicated than this, in my view. So here are some examples of the dopamine detox, the dopamine diet, all of which I am against and I don't think are good ideas. Okay? Never look at your phone. To go completely off your phone for like 30 days, I don't think that's a good idea. Never look at your phone. There are times it's okay to look at your phone. I look at my phone. I'm not on the fucking thing all day. I'm not scrolling all day. I'm getting to work. But to never look at your phone, you can look at your phone for certain things. It's fine. Going totally off grid for 30 days, that's a thing now some people are doing. Now, if you're a big nature hippie, getting back to nature type person, and that's a natural part of your personality, that's okay. But if you're doing this just to do a dopamine detox, to go completely no computers, no phone for 30 days, do you need to do that? No, that's pretty extreme. Computers and your phone do give you many strong benefits. I have made literally millions of dollars because of the internet and computers and phones. So I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm saying that's going a little too far. Actually, a lot too far. Monk mode. Boy, have I talked about this. I did an entire video on this at the Alpha Male 2.0 YouTube channel. You can watch that video for more details. Monk mode is insanity. Monk mode is when you don't have sex. That's fucking insane. I talk about in my whole book, Unchained Man, the two baselines, fundamental baselines for male happiness is what? Sex and money. You're just going to eliminate one? I'm never going to have sex. Or I'm not going to have sex for a year. As I said in the video, go watch that video. Monk mode only applies to hardcore pickup artists who have banged hundreds of women. They're addicted to fucking new women and they can't stop. I was almost in that category about 10 years ago. I wrote a blog article about when it was happening to me. I kept banging new girls because I could and I didn't need to. It becomes the sex and the newness of the new women become an addiction. Not a sex addiction, it's new women addiction. I would say that describes maybe 6% of my audience. 6% of you are strong game pickup artist dudes. You're banging tons of chicks and you're going a little too far with it. The other 94% of you are not having enough sex. So what happens, all these fucking pickup guys say, you need to go to monk mode. I went monk mode. It really transformed my life. Yeah, you went monk mode because you were fucking hundreds of women and it was fucking up your life. 95% of the men in your audience aren't having enough sex. You're telling them to not have sex? You're insane. Monk mode is fucking stupid. No. This is, again, going too far. Well, sex is dopamine, so I better never have sex. Stupid. Life isn't black and white like this. It'd be easier if it was, but it's not. No fap. There's another one. I have a porn addiction, so I'm not going to masturbate at all. Ever again. What? Human beings masturbate. It's a part of being a human being. I saw, let's see, what's his name? Russell Brand. Someone was interviewing Russell Brand. Was it Tucker Carlson? I forget. And Russell Brand says, I've turned my whole life on. I never masturbate anymore. And I immediately went, huh? That doesn't sound very good. That doesn't sound natural at all. That doesn't sound psychologically healthy. Never masturbate? Never? If you're masturbating 7 times a day, yeah, you have a problem. Is the issue masturbation or is the issue porn? I'll talk about that in a minute. So for you to say, just never touch your dick ever, what? The cavemen were masturbating and they didn't have dopamine problems. Talk about that in a minute. Okay? Too much, too far. Fasting for more than about 3 days. There are definitely benefits of fasting a day, 2 days, 3 days. I could fast 3 days several times this year. But fasting for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, too much. Because you're eating bad food. Oh, I'm eating a lot of shitty food lately. I'm going to fast for a month. I'm going to fast for a week. I'm just going to eat food. I'm just going to drink water. No. The problem isn't food. Human beings have been eating food for 150,000 years. They didn't have dopamine problems until just about, let's say, in terms of food, I would say late 80s. Last 30 years. The problem with these measures is that these are too extreme. You don't want to murder all dopamine from your life. Some dopamine is a natural and normal part of your human biology and psychology. What you instead want is to get rid of the addictive dopamine, but leave the, quote, natural dopamine in your life. Does that make sense? It's not all dopamine. It's good dopamine and bad dopamine. Addictive, artificial dopamine, and what I would call natural dopamine. Okay? This is where I call this paleo-compatible dopamine. Okay? We didn't have these dopamine problems in the 1980s when I was in high school. We didn't, for the most part. There were rare exceptions. You didn't have porn addicts in the 1980s. You didn't have guys addicted to jerking off. Now, my dad was a psychologist. Rarely you have some weird guy in the 1980s come in and say, I'm masturbating 5, 6, 7 times a day. I can't stop. But that was really unusual. Less than 1% of men. Really strange. Most men can't orgasm more than 1 or 2 times a day anyway, who are adults anyway. When you're 7th grade, you can come all over the place all day, right? That's a brief period of your life. That's when you're a kid. So, but they were still doing dopamine stuff. Cavemen did not have dopamine addiction problems. Were they never doing any dopamine stuff? Yes, they were. They were jerking off. They were having sex. They were going on hunts. So it's not all dopamine. It's the new dopamine. Therefore, dopamine is good, in my opinion, in my layman's analysis. Dopamine is good as long as from a source that ancient man had access to. Because they did all this dopamine stuff and they didn't have any of these dopamine problems. So it's not all dopamine is bad. Dopamine is good if it's ancient man compatible, paleo compatible. So if ancient man could do it, it is, quote, in my view, good dopamine. If ancient man could not do it, it is, in my analysis, bad dopamine. You should either never do it, or if you have to, in small, infrequent moderation. Best analysis I've heard on this is Penn Jillette when he lost 100 pounds 7, 8 years ago and kept it off. He wrote a book about how he did it. I read that book. And his term for like cheat meals was rare and appropriate. He goes, are you never going to cheat for the rest of your life? Of course not. That's ridiculous. You're a human being. But should you have a cheat meal every week? Is every week rare? No, it's not. It's not rare. So that doesn't make sense. Rare and appropriate. So if you're going to cheat, you're on your diet, you're cheat. Christmas morning with your family, that's appropriate. Your birthday, that's appropriate. But it's Tuesday night, you had a rough day, and you're going to go get Taco Bell. Is that appropriate? No. Rare and appropriate exceptions to when it is bad dopamine. I'm not saying you never do bad dopamine. A little bit. If you jerked off to porn 3 or 4 times a year, fine. Every day, probably not good. So I'm going to play a game with you guys. And even if you're watching the podcast version of the recording, you can play this game along with me. You can just visualize this in your head. I'm going to ask you some questions. These are yes/no questions. We're going to evaluate, is it paleo-compatible dopamine or not? Okay, and here the question starts with, could ancient man do blank? Now, this is important. Could ancient man do it? Not did all ancient men do it? Because some of these things, ancient men could do it, but only the leader of the tribe could do it, or the alpha males, the group could do it. But the ancient man could do it. Could ancient man do it? Was it possible? Yes or no? It's a yes or no answer. I'm going to take you through a bunch of these. Okay. First one. Could ancient man jerk off to porn? Could he watch a porno video of a hot girl with big titties and jerk off to porn? No, he couldn't. Therefore, jerking off to porn is not paleo-compatible, and thus it is bad. You shouldn't do it, with rare exception. I'm not saying that I think this is good or bad. I'm not a big porn guy. I have a lot of sex. I don't need porn. I've watched porn. I'm a human being. I'm not into it. But I am not giving you, as usual, when I talk about these statistical things. I am not giving you Caleb's opinion. I'm giving you the hard analysis. Could ancient man jerk off to porn or not? No. Now, you could get really esoteric. Say, well, he could watch two people fucking in the cave. That's not porn because you're involved. My wife, Pink Firefly, loves, but one of her favorite things to do sexually is to watch me have sex with a hot girl right in front of her. That's not porn. She's actually involved. You go to like a swingers club and that's not porn. You're there. It's a whole different thing. It's not porn. Porn isn't there. It's fake. Now, this gets to the no fap guys. Could ancient man jerk off? Could ancient man masturbate? Yes or no? Of course, the answer is fucking yes. And I bet in the caveman era, they were probably jerking off all the goddamn time. Can you imagine teenage boys like with the Native American Indians or Aboriginal tribes in Africa or cavemen? Dude, there was probably semen all over those walls from the goddamn teenage boys jerking off all day long. So therefore, jerking off just by itself, staring at a wall, is okay. It's paleo-compatible. Ancient man did it. Boys and men have been jerking off, and women have been jerking off for 150,000 years. But they weren't addicted to porn until around the 2000s. Right? You see why no fap doesn't make any sense now? Don't jerk off ever. Why? And I'm not a big masturbator, pro-master. I'm not. I have no hard opinion either way on this stuff. I'm giving you the data. They were able to jerk off and they had no problems. They just didn't jerk off to porn. Now, let's get a little more nuanced, okay? Here's the next question. Could ancient man jerk off looking at a lifelike picture of a really hot woman? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question, yes or no answer. A photograph or a screen or a picture or a painting that was lifelike, could he do it? No. He could draw cave drawings, right, of a stick figure with big circles for boobs, I guess. I guess he could do that, right? Or like the joke is he would look at a plant that looked like a butt and jerk off to the plant. Okay, but that's not a lifelike picture of a woman. So those of you who jerk off to OnlyFans, you don't watch porn. I don't watch porn, but I do jerk off to Instagram. You jerk off to your Instagram female influence, your Instagram models, not paleo-compatible. I'm going to be super honest and open with you. The times where I've jerked off in the past, I don't do a lot of it, but I'm a human being. I'm a man. I've masturbated. Okay, it's a thing. What I will do, and what I have done, is I will look at pictures while I'm doing it myself. I will look at pictures of women I've already had sex with, because I have sex with some hot girls, or even women I'm having sex with now, but maybe they're in another country at the moment. I've done that. To me, that is less bad than jerking off some fantasy woman you'll never get. I'm looking at women I've already had sex with. And the fantasies that I have, and those of you who have had sex with hundreds of women, okay, those of you who have sex with lots of women, or you can relate to this. I've talked to you guys. Men like us think about memories. Normal men think about fantasies that'll never happen in terms of sexual fantasies. So I'm thinking about memories, or sometimes I'll tweak the memory a little bit. But technically, this is not paleo-compatible. Looking at a picture of a hot girl. Can't do it. Oops. So therefore, what does this say to you? You can masturbate using your own imagination or memories. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. That's not no fap. That's no porn. And no Instagram, and no OnlyFans, and no pictures, and no photographs. Now, every once in a while on a blue moon you do it, maybe that's okay. I don't know. Rare and appropriate. Now let's keep going. Could ancient man play a video game? Obviously, the answer is no. So any video games, not paleo-compatible, bad. And I hate saying that. It hurts my heart. Computers and video games have been such a big part of my life for the vast majority of my life, starting in 1981 when I was playing on my Atari 2600, playing Space Invaders, before many of you were born. In 1987, I was playing Ultima 5. I spent hours and hours on my Commodore 64, and I fucking loved that shit. And then I played Doom, and then I played Morrowind, and I've been playing games up until 2018. But there's a reason I stopped. It's not good for me. Now, in the future, when my work schedule calms down, I'll gently bring some of it back. Now, even when I was playing video games, what did I say back then? Those of you who knew me back then, you play video games for 1 hour. This is what I did. You set a timer for 1 hour, play a video game, and then as soon as the timer goes off, you save your fucking game, you get back to work. So even when I was playing video games, I didn't let it control me. Now, could ancient man play games with his friends? Yes or no? Yes, they played backgammon. They played checkers. Little kids played tag. They played all kinds of games. Chinese ancient men played Go. So games are great, just not video games. Okay? Best non-video game I have ever played in my entire life was Dungeons and Dragons throughout my childhood and some of my adulthood. Or role-playing games. See, today you have hundreds of role-playing games. Back in the 80s, you said D&D. Well, that's not true. You had Robotech. We had a few games in the 80s. Awesome. Guess what? When you're playing on a tabletop with dice and papers and maybe little miniatures, maybe you don't even need those. Could ancient man do that? Yeah. So as something as complicated as Dungeons and Dragons is paleo-compatible. I am strongly considering, I don't think I'm going to do this, but I'm strongly considering it, taking some time out of my week to start playing role-playing games with my friends and family over Zoom, because I was doing that before I left the United States. We were playing me, my two brothers, my daughter, and her boyfriend. So all five of us, and my son when he was there. We were playing Savage Worlds. Really cool RPG. It was awesome. Totally paleo-compatible. You can do all that you want. It's not a video game. Now, let's talk about sex. Could ancient men have sex with an attractive woman, a hot girl? Yes or no? Could ancient men fuck a hot girl? Yes. Now, again, you can nitpick. Well, Caleb, not all ancient men. Some of the beta males couldn't get laid. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's true. I didn't say did 100% of all ancient men do these things. I said could they? Yes, they could. And if you read the materials, the anthropology stuff, there was a lot of fucking going on back then. Everyone was fucking everybody. So yes, an ancient man could fuck an attractive woman. So when I have sex with a hot girl, totally paleo-compatible. I can fuck all I want. You see why monk mode is stupid? Sex is a natural function of the human body and the human brain. You were designed to have sex. Replication and survival. Replication is fucking. That's why Western world is collapsing. Not enough of you are fucking having kids because you can't afford it anymore. Now let's keep going. I'm going to extend this. This is for you trad cons and Christians and you guys. Could ancient man have sex with multiple attractive women? Yes or no? The answer absolutely is yes. Abso-fucking-lutely. So guess what? Friends and family, Alpha Male 2.0 is completely paleo-compatible. Having sex with multiple women is natural and normal. I've said this 10,000 times. I'm happy to repeat this. Mankind was not monogamous until the latter era of the collapsing Roman Empire under Constantine, around 300 BC. Human beings have been around for 150,000 years. Human civilization has been around for about 8,000 years. We've only played around with monogamy the past 1,800 or so, or whatever that math is. That's it. We were not naturally monogamous at all, and we never have been. You were designed to fuck lots of women if you're a man. Now, does that mean you have to fuck 100 girls? No. Most of you shouldn't even do that. That was never my objective. But monogamy does not work. Now, if you're a right-wing, tradcon, Christian conservative, what you're saying right now is, but marriage is the backbone of Western. I didn't say don't get married. I'm married. You're talking about pair bonding, and you're right. Society benefits from men and women pair bonding long-term. Pair bonding, and you should fuck other people. I am pair bonded to Pink Firefly, and I have sex with other women every week. Pair bonding, good. Monogamy, bad. Having sex with multiple women, paleo-compatible. So I'm going to keep right on fucking my girls. No problem. And you know what? One of the big reasons why I don't need to play video games, I don't need to jerk off to porn, I don't need to do doom scrolling like a lot of you do. You know why? And I'm not bragging. This is the factual truth. It's because I'm having so much sex with hot girls. That's where my dopamine gets. That's where I get my dopamine. Instead of yelling about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris all fucking day, I'm having sex with smoking hot chicks several times a week. This week has been very good. And this week is only half over. Woo! And I'm not even back in Dubai yet. Woo! Okay. Let's keep going. Could he scroll social media on his phone? Ancient man. Can ancient man scroll social media on his phone? No. Therefore, all social media activities on your phone, not paleo-compatible. Can't do it. Sorry. If you want to watch an occasional YouTube, I'm saying scrolling, not watching a YouTube video. There are educational YouTube videos you can watch. That's fine. I watch good educational YouTube videos. This is an educational YouTube video. But just sitting there going boom, 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 scrolling your phone, can't do it. Now, does that mean all anger or political debate? So could ancient man have an angry political debate with somebody? Could he turn to could Grog turn to Rog and say, I think Burger should be the tribe leader? And he says, no, Shogrog should be the tribe leader. And they go, no, he's an idiot. And then they argue. Could ancient man do that? Argue about politics with someone? Yes. But he did it in real life, right? He didn't do it on Twitter. So never talk about politics? No, you can talk about politics to someone in the room with you. It's fine. Doing it all fucking day on Twitter and YouTube and worried about Project 2025 and build a wall? No. Did he listen? Here's the big one. Could ancient man listen to TV or podcasts all day long or most of the hours a day while he did other things? Yes or no? No. I have been guilty of this. I'm kind of weaning myself off this. You're listening to podcasts all day or even good educational, all fucking like when you're getting stuff ready in the morning or you're getting ready in the bathroom. Try getting ready in the bathroom without listening to any music or any podcasts or any TV. A lot of you can't do it. Pink Firefly needs to have music going on when she gets ready. She has to have it. She's dopamine addicted like most of you are. Here's a tricky one. Could ancient man listen to exciting, rousing, emotionally rousing, dopamine rousing music? Yes or no? This one's a tricky one. It's a gray area. So the answer is not yes, but not no. So could ancient man listen to like Beethoven's Fifth or the Star Wars soundtrack? No, he couldn't. But like Native American Indians, you know what they used to do? And they jump around and they dance around the fire and they get all worked up. So they could do that. So the answer is not yes or not no. It's a gray area. My goodness. The Africans in ancient Africa, they're doing the drums, they're dancing around. Woo! Dance around the fire, flip around, having sex with women right there. Yeah, they did that. So what's the deal with music? It's a gray area. I'll discuss how I handle music in a few minutes. So that's one of these rare exceptions. It's not yes, it's not no. It's kind of some music yes and some music no. Let's keep going. Could ancient man eat a hot fudge sundae with all those preservatives and artificial flavors and sugars and sugar substitutes with the hot fudge and the vanilla ice cream and the cherry on top, the cherry soaked in, syrup? Could he do it? The only form of sugar I would eat is ice cream. I'm not into sugar anymore, but could he do it? No. Can't do it. Can't do it. This is why I stopped eating sugar in January of 2023, last year. It was very hard for me. I did it. Rarely do I eat sugar. I don't want it anymore. Now, let's extend this. Well, of course, eating sugar is bad, Caleb. All right, great. Could ancient man eat a burrito from Taco Bell? Could he eat pizza? Could he eat roll sushi? I love these idiots who say sushi is healthy. Sushi is not healthy. Sushi is terrible for you. Sashimi is healthy. The raw fish they put on the white rice that's been soaked in sugar. The little part of the fish, that part, the little bit of the white rice inside the roll, which is like, shit, man. 1/6 of that roll, that part is healthy. Yes, all the rest is terrible. Go eat a bunch of sushi for a week and see what happens to your weight and see what happens to your daily energy. Sushi is awful. And I love sushi. I would have sex with sushi. Love sushi to death. There are some good sushi places here in Paraguay, amazingly, because they got really good meat and good fish down here. So could ancient man eat a burrito, roll sushi, pizza? Yes or no? Could he do it? No. But now, could he have aspects of these things? Could he have cheese? Yes. They invented cheese thousands of years ago. But could he have pizza with pepperoni and shit? No. Now, so we don't go too far over here. Could he eat food that tasted really fucking good to him? Like, oh my God, this is so good. He couldn't have Sundays, he can't have pizza, but could ancient man eat food like, wow, this is so fucking good? People like to think that ancient food tasted terrible, and most of it did. But could he eat food that tasted really good? Yes. He could have steak. Fresh off the kill, freshly butchered steak on the fire. Then he could take butter and slather butter all over the steak, do super carnivore and just fucking eat that steak. He could have cheese. Cheese was invented thousands of years ago. Now, it depends what you call ancient. So cavemen couldn't have cheese, but right shortly after they could. Here's something really good I've learned from my fitness coaches. Berries. Berries taste awesome. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, they taste like candy. And you can eat all the berries you want, and they're like 90 calories. Berries taste fucking great. Do they taste as good as a hot fudge sundae? No, not quite, but they taste goddamn good. They do. Over in my freezer over there, I have a gigantic bag of blueberries. They're frozen, and I eat them with a spoon, frozen blueberries. Great. I have a whole bag of that shit. It's like 100 calories, 90 calories. Awesome. Good for maintaining my weight, so I'm not 400 pounds like my sister. Okay. Could ancient man do drugs? Ooh. This gets into complicated shit now, doesn't it? Yes or no? Could ancient man do drugs? Again, it's a gray area. Could ancient man snort cocaine? No. Could he do fentanyl? No. Could he shoot heroin? No. But he could smoke weed. Now, is it weed today? Could ancient man smoke the weed we have today? No. But he could smoke weed. He could smoke the peace pipe. They could eat mushrooms and get whacked out, and they did. So it's a gray area. Some natural forming drugs in nature, they fucked with a little bit and did. Yes. All the drugs, most of the drugs that you guys are doing, no. So it's a gray area, right? It's not yes, it's not no, it's somewhere in the middle. And we could argue either way. It's a debatable topic, isn't it? How potent was the weed that ancient man smoked in the teepee? We could debate this. And I don't know where I would fall in the debate. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that area. But yeah, they did. But could they do any of the drugs that most people are doing today? All these antidepressants and SSRIs, could they do those? No, they couldn't. Okay. So that's another tricky one. It's gray area. Could they do exciting dopamine pumping things? Could they just fucking pump their dopamine by doing certain things? Yes. Ancient man went on hunts. And they went on hunts with animals that were dangerous. Go try to fucking hunt a boar armed with a knife or a spear. Good luck, man. That's dangerous shit. Now, hunting buffalo from horseback with all your buddies, that's one thing. There's some danger, but not much. In the African bush, you got a knife or a little spear, and you're trying to hunt a fucking boar. Boars kill you. Boars rip your stomach out, dude. So that was dopamine pumping, yeah. They could have sex. That was dopamine pumping. They could dance. I mean, my God, can you imagine these Africans, ancient Africa? And they're dancing around with the fire and the drums, and he's having sex, and yeah. So like dopamine is bad. No, it's not. Dopamine's great, as long as it's from paleo-compatible sources. Could he engage in martial arts or similar? Could ancient man engage in physical combat with other men? Yes. Yes. This is why I've said martial arts is almost, it is not, but it is almost an alpha male 2.0 requirement. It's not, but it's almost there. I have a martial arts background. My son has a martial arts background. It transforms you as a man to get in a fight with another man, especially in my case, when you don't have pads, you actually get hurt. A man needs to get punched in the fucking face a few times so he doesn't be scared. He's not like this. If some bully comes up in a bar, he goes like this. Ugh. That's a guy who's never gotten in a fight. So yeah, Combat with other men, dopamine enhancing, totally allowed. UFC, martial arts, full contact, whatever the fuck you want. Jiu-jitsu, great. Fucking great. Do it. If I had more time, I'd be doing it now. I don't have time. Could Ancient Man watch an exciting movie? Could he watch Raiders of the Lost Ark? Could he watch Fellowship of the Ring? Could he watch Terminator 2? No. And that's a problem. Now, it's not a problem anymore because movies are so terrible, as we just talked about a few minutes ago. So, fine. But technically speaking, you can't be watching movies all the time. Now, movies are kind of going away from pop culture. Social media and video games have replaced movies. Movies was the form of entertainment in the 20th century. Movies are going away now, and they probably should, even though it makes me sad because I'm a big movie guy because I was raised in the 70s and 80s. But just to be clear, watching a movie, not paleo-compatible. It's not. Could Ancient Man read a book or similar? Maybe they have, books, but could he sit down and read something? Read something entertaining? Yes! The Egyptians were doing it. They were reading a papyrus leaves and shit like that. Yes. So reading books, great. Read books. Read them. Awesome. If you want. If you don't want to, then no. But it's allowed. It's paleo-compatible. Could Ancient Man listen to an audiobook? This gets more complicated, doesn't it? Because all you guys I mentioned earlier, no one reads anymore. They have to listen to audiobooks because they can't sit down and fucking read. So listen to audiobooks. Could Ancient Man do that? Gray area. Could Ancient Man have a little device by his belt and it played a voice in his ear all day long? No, of course not. But they had something called oral tradition, where you would sit at the campfire and the old man or the old shaman would come out, or the old witch would come out and do what? Tell stories. Stories about their history, mythology. That's how things are passed down. And it was a big deal. You'd listen to the guy. So, I mean, could a chieftain maybe have a guy, the old man, follow him around all day and tell him stories while he's doing other things? Maybe. I don't know. So it's a gray area. Okay, gray area. Should you be listening to audiobooks literally all fucking day long? Maybe not. But listening to audiobooks in general might be okay. It's a gray area. Does it make sense? Okay. So this determines what is compatible and what is not. So let me tell you what I am doing. This is where I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm going to describe what I am doing. Don't copy this. This is just what Caleb is doing. You have a different set of addictions than I do. You probably live a different life than I do. Matter of fact, most likely live a very different life than I do. Okay? This is my version only. Don't copy it. Come up with your own plan for yourself based on what we've talked about. Rewatch this video, re-listen to this podcast. Okay? Since we have different levels of dopamine addictions, we also have different, interests. Some of you are super into jujitsu. Some of you don't give a fuck about jujitsu, but some of you are super into reading science fiction books or whatever. Some of you are super into porn. Some of you aren't. So come up with your own plan. This is just what I'm doing as an example. Okay. And most of these things I've been doing right already. We'll cover that. So I will continue to not play any video games. I haven't played it since 2018. When I get into my next phase of life, hopefully starting in April of 2026, maybe I will slowly introduce a video game a little. Maybe. But I'm going to continue to not do these things. What I've already mentioned this, I did this several months ago. I shut off all color on my phone. You can take your phone, go in the settings, iPhone, Android, either one, and you make it black and white, and it makes it look ugly. And what it does, it reduces the amount of time you look at your phone. When I did it, the amount of time I looked at my phone dropped, 25% or 30%. 25 or 30% the first week, and then an additional 10% over the next few weeks, like almost 40%. I look at my phone 40% less now because I made it black and white, and I made these decisions. I have shut off the vast majority of all social media browsing and scrolling functions. I mentioned in a prior live stream where when I go to my YouTube on my laptop now, it brings up YouTube. There's the bar at the top and the bar on the left. There's no videos. I have to type in the video to go find the video I want. I don't want to just go to YouTube and just say, they're talking about Rings of Power. Click. No, I don't use social media as a browsing function anymore. I use it to go purposely grab things. I will watch YouTube videos. This is a YouTube video, but I will seek them out and watch them on purpose, not just because I'm scrolling and I have nothing to do. Any social media I will access only if I'm directly looking for it. Correct. Instead of playing podcasts or YouTube videos on my phone in the background while I'm doing menial tasks, which is what I used to do. So I would get up in the morning, brush my teeth, take a shower, and have something playing. A podcast, an audio book, something. Okay. If I'm making food in the kitchen, I'll have something going. If I'm cleaning up the apartment or organizing things, I'll have something playing. Here's what I'm doing instead now. Started doing this a few weeks ago. First thing I will listen to, if I listen to anything, is my own affirmations. I have an entire set of affirmations I've recorded in my phone. I play those on repeat. And my affirmations is a whole new set of affirmations last few months. Instead of, I will make this amount of money, they are more about my overcoming my limiting beliefs. I made a whole list of my limiting beliefs, and I made alternates to those. So, for example, one affirmation is something like, I work out at the gym 4 times a week with no stress, and I have plenty of time to do it. Because I always think, well, I don't have time to work out. I got to work. I have plenty of time to work out 4 times a week at the gym. No problem. Things like that. Okay. I will listen to audiobooks. Now, I try to listen to fiction audiobooks, not nonfiction audiobooks, because it's hard to take notes. When you're listening to nonfiction, you got to take notes. So I try to listen to fiction that aren't too stimulating. Audiobooks I listen to lately, I listen to fantasy, of course, historical fiction. I've also been listening to a few funny, humorous fantasy books. There's a thing called Lit RPG, which is based on like role-playing games, and they turn them into funny stories. I've listened to those. Some of them are funny, some are stupid, because I write Black Dragon and Pink Firefly, the comic book, which is a comedy fantasy. So that's what I'm doing. Or I will listen to soft music, not Ozzy Osbourne, which is what I like. I like Ozzy Osbourne, Judas Priest, Def Leppard, 80s metal. That's what I like. I'm not listening to that unless it's isolated examples. Okay? I'm listening to music like background music from Blade Runner. Really calm, relaxing, Chinese meditation music. Soothing, relaxing music. Not rap, not hip hop, not metal, not top 40. Okay? Or guess what? I will listen to nothing. I will just be happy in silence, which most of you can't even do. You have to have something going all the time, as we talked about. So I'll just make it silent with my own thoughts. It's nice. I will go on frequent walks outside. Right now, it's a little difficult because we have wildfires here in South America. So you can't really tell here, but the air is a little hazy because these fucking wildfires. I go to Paraguay for clean air. And then I come to Paraguay and they have wildfires. They fuck up the air. So anyway, I'm making a joke. What I will do is I'll go for walks. I've already done this in Paraguay several times. As soon as the air clears up, I'm going to do this again. I have my N95 mask if I actually have to do this. I walk outside. I will go for walks listening to nothing. What I used to do is if I walk to the mall or walk to the store or walk to wherever or walk to the grocery store, Paraguay or Dubai, I'll put in my Beats, my earbuds, and I'll listen to music, podcasts, videos, audio. Okay, I don't do that anymore. Silent. I listen to the wind and the birds and the distant dog barking. That's what I listen to. This is about touching grass. Yeah. If I have to listen to something while I'm walking, I will listen to my affirmations. And I will turn them down very low so I can barely hear them, just so they get into my subconscious. I don't need to listen to them. So I'll turn them down very low so I can hear them, but they're low, they're quiet. I'm not yelling in my ears. I have a loud voice, as you know, so I don't want to yell at myself. I yell at myself when I need to yell at myself, but not when I'm doing affirmations. I will continue, because this is allowed, paleo-compatible dopamine. I will continue to have sex with multiple hot women 3 times a week on average. Fuck yeah, including without condoms. Fuck yeah, that is all paleo-compatible. Monk mode is fucking stupid. You need to get laid. Now, if you don't need to have sex 3 times a week, fine. We all have different levels of sex drives, don't we? That's fine. Some of you need to have sex more than 3 times a week. Do that. Some of you are good once every other week. Fine. But not 0 times for many months, you fucking moron. I can masturbate if I want. That is paleo-compatible, but I can't look at anything. I have to rely on my memories, which is my case, or in many of your cases, fantasies. Or what I will do sometimes is, I'm giving you a TMI here, I will, and some of you can relate to this who've been with lots of women because we've talked about this, I'll have memories of women I've had sex with, but I'll tweak the memory and make it a little different, more hot, the more way I want. Do that, that's fine. But I can't look at pictures, not paleo-compatible. I'm not gonna look at porn. I don't look at porn anyway. I'm not a big porn guy, but I can look at something visually stimulating. Can't do that. Stare at the ceiling, stare at the wall, look out, whatever you gotta do, and use your own fucking brain. That's okay. Masturbation is okay. Porn is the problem, not masturbation. That's why NoFap is stupid. I will continue to never drink alcohol. I never mentioned alcohol. I probably should have mentioned it. I've never been drunk in my entire life. I will continue to never do any drugs. I've never done any drugs in my entire life. I took one puff of marijuana about 15 years ago. Other than that, I've never, and that's it. I went, this stupid, and that was it. I've never done drugs in my entire life. I've never smoked anything in my entire life. One of the biggest reasons I am as successful and happy as I am, both in my woman life and my professional life, is because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. The vast majority of humanity can't say that. They're doing a lot of at least one of those things, sometimes two or more of those things. That's also why I look at least 10 years younger than my age. I don't have any wrinkles or anything. I'm 52 years old. I look 52. Here's the back of my hand. Is that like the back of my hand of a 52-year-old man? No, because I don't drink. Alcohol takes water out of your body. It dehydrates your ass, fucks up your brain. I don't do drugs. I don't fuck up my hormones by taking drugs. I don't smoke shit, which is another way of doing drugs. I try, this is my challenge, but I'm better at this now. I improve every year. I try as best I can to eat single ingredient foods or close to it. Single ingredient foods. Meat, ground beef, chicken, cheese. I can have cheese, berries, vegetables, onions, single ingredient foods as best as I can. And avoid all dopamine rich foods except for rare occasions, rare and appropriate. When I first arrived in Paraguay a few months ago, I blew this because I got excited about Paraguay food. I was invited to a bunch of parties. So I'm not perfect on this. Working on it. I will continue to lift weights. I lift weights 4 days a week. I was just there this morning. Boy, man, I fucked up my legs this morning in a good way. But very carefully because of my age. I am in my 50s. I've talked about this. I injured myself last year. So the way I lift weights is very different than the way I used to lift weights. So here's how you used to lift weights. This is how you can lift weights if you're in your 20s or 30s. If you're doing curls, this is how I used to do curls. Boom, boom, boom. You can't see the camera. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Okay. That's how I used to lift weights. And if you're in your 20s and 30s, you can lift weights like that. I can't. I'm an old man. So this is how I lift weights now. It sucks ass, but here's what I do. Okay, here's the camera. There's the camera. Okay? Doing curls. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. 3, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. High reps, 12 reps, 15 reps on just about everything. Got to do it. Got to be age appropriate. Wish I didn't have to. I hate it, but that's what you got to do. So that's how I lift weights now. 4 times a week plus cardio. So I lift weights 4 times a week. I do cardio at least twice a week. Plus I'm having sex at least 3 times a week. Plus I walk around a lot. I exercise a shitload. Exercise has never been my problem. My problem with my weight has been calories and things like bread and cheese. It used to be sugar, but now it's calories. It's just bread and cheese. When I need a dopamine distraction, I will seek it from paleo-compatible sources. Exercise, which also creates dopamine. I didn't mention that one. Exercise, especially cardio. Having sex with real women. Reading books. Playing games with other humans. Those are all okay. I seek those things instead of porn, social media, video games, things like this. Things that are going to fuck up my focus. Okay? All right. One more quick thing. I'll get to your questions. I am doing an event in November where you can follow me around, and you'll see me do lots of these things via a special restricted live stream for only people who sign up for this for 12 hours a day for 4 days straight. And during that whole time, you can ask me all the questions you want. It's like a giant 4-day long coaching session with me. I show you everything. It's completely remote. You do it on your own laptop. There's no travel. You don't need to do anything. 4 days a week, 12 hours a day. I show you everything. I show you all the appointments I'm going to. I show you everything I'm working on my screens, how I manage my time, I manage 3 different companies. The women I'm having sex with, you will see them and you will talk to them. More on that in a little bit. Unlimited access to me for 4 days straight, 12 hours a day. You can ask me all the questions you want. I am throwing in, if you sign up for this, a 2-hour business coaching session with Billy. If you were to buy that yourself, that'd be $500. She's $250 an hour for coaching because she makes a lot of money. I'm throwing that in for free. Give it to you for free. And if you have not done the 9-day business builder, I'll give you $1,000 off if you ever want to do that. If you already done business builder, I'll give you $1,000 off anything else I sell. If you sign up for this. This was $8,000 because it was a live event in Dubai. I changed it to a remote event. Now it's $2,997, but I'm going to give you a discount right. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Can you hear me? 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 Should be able to hear me now. Yes. All right. I apologize for that. So I use these. They're really good. These are the Rode. It's called Wireless Go 2. The problem is they're battery powered, and I've been talking for a long time. I had meetings before this. I have a spare one. I don't know where it is. I don't know where I put it. So anyway, so I apologize for that. My sound audio probably won't be as good as it was, but anyway, I don't know where my sound cut out. I'm going to rewind this a little bit. The discount code, it's at www.caleb.top/shadow. If you want to sign up for this, the discount code is November in all lowercase letters. Case doesn't matter, I don't think. That will give you a $500 discount. So it makes it about $2,500. That discount code expires on September 21st. So you've got about a week left. www.caleb.top/shadow to have unlimited access to me for 4 days. I don't know if I'll ever do this again. Probably not, but I don't know. This is a test to see if you guys like this. The price will go up on September 21st. www.caleb.top/shadow. I cannot have 1 billion people sign up for this because it'll get unruly. I can't have like 45 people on the live stream constantly shooting questions at me for 4 days. So I have to limit the number of people. I don't know what that number is, but there is a limit. I have to sit down and think through what the limit is before November. It actually happens in November, but if you sign up before September 21st, you get the $500 off. Cool? This is all remote. And some of you asked earlier if you get a recording of the live stream. I might do that for people who sign up for this. I might. If I get a bunch of people asking when they sign up, I might do that. Okay? All right. Cool. Let's get to your questions. A lot of you are making a lot of good points. I saw kind of as I was talking, my God, look at these questions. Holy fucking shit. Okay. Let's see. Where were we here? Mind you, Peach was actually written to have a true girl boss role. Nintendo deceptive and men changes. Correct, but they still didn't remove it. They just made it less. What are the 3 business books you recommend everyone read? I'll give you the top 3 books that I've ever read. Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. So first of all, The Unchained Man by Caleb Jones. That's book number 0. You read that first. But not including mine. Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World by Harry Brown. Winning Through Intimidation by Robert Ringer. If you can find it, the original version, not the rewritten version, but the rewritten version is okay. Value-based pricing means you get paid a lot more than with an hourly rate. Correct. If you have a Alpha 2.0 business, you work with freelancers, do you let them charge per hour or value-based? Example, Billy. It depends on what they want. I don't care. So sometimes it's project-based, sometimes it's hourly. I let the vendor decide. I don't really care. Red Pill Space says men become more attractive, makes more money. Red Pill Space. Oh, this is you rewriting your question? Red Pill Space says men become attractive, makes money, etc. Is not to be a monogamous. They all want multiple women. Yes. Is that true that all these men who are in the top 20% think like that? All men want multiple women. Your biological default as a man is polygamy, not polyamory, polygamy. You're fucking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 girls, and they only fuck you. See, as soon as I said that, your lizard brain said, "Oh yeah, me like." Yeah, women's biological default is serial monogamy. I'm gonna fuck this one guy until I get tired or bored or pissed off, dump his ass, get a new guy, just fuck him until I get tired or bored, dump him or cheat on him. Depends the woman, depends the age, depends the factors. Get the next serial monogamy. Now, neither of those, which one of those is conducive to long-term monogamy? None. Yeah, Caleb, you're likely getting another woman pregnant in Paraguay. Incorrect. You've been dropping hints on recent live streams. I haven't been your in-person events. You are incorrect. I'm not getting anyone pregnant in Paraguay. Wrong. It's very hard to guess what I'm doing. If you've been to my live events, you already know. But if you haven't, it's because it's nothing I've done before. Nothing like any I've ever done before. I'll let you know in October. I'll be mid to late October. I'll be honest with you. I have to have, before I tell you what I've been doing last few months, for a while now, I have to have one big conversation with one person and another little conversation with another person to get this 100% locked in. It's 90% done. It needs to get, that extra 10% is 2 conversations. And one of these conversations must occur in Dubai. So I'm not in Dubai right now. I'm going to wait till I go back on October 5th. Do women like men with high body count or low body count? Women don't care. How to deal with drama when in the car with a woman as they just start drama, knowing you can't leave. I've addressed this many times. What to do in a car. It's like they strategically do this. That is correct. They will. That is correct. You turn, you do a U-turn, and you take her home. Where you go? What are you doing? I'm taking you home. Well, what the fuck? And then you shut up, turn on some nice music on the radio, nice relax, and just listen to the music and ignore and just don't talk to her. What the fuck? You know, if you do this, I never see you again. Mm-hmm. And just take her home, open the door, kick her out nicely,
Okay, don't shove her. You'll go to prison if you're in the United States or Canada. You can't touch her. Kick her out of your car and go home and go fuck someone else. And yes, I've done this. Not for many years, but I've done it. Don't argue back. This is the problem with you fuckers. You're outcome dependent and you have no emotional control. So when you're turning around and taking her home and she's making all these threats and all these insults, hey, listen up. You're going to respond. Don't respond. Just go, yeah. Okay. You know what? You're a fucking asshole. Okay. You know, I'm never going to see you again. I'm going to fuck your brother. As soon as I get home, I'm calling your brother. I'm going to fuck it. Okay. Whoa, what the fuck? You don't want to be entertained. The girl I was able to hear she was having sex with a tall white guy. This happened after reading the open relationship manual. I got jealous, envied, disrespected, and angry. That's what'll happen the first time. Correct. All in one, like never before. I couldn't do anything. I had to listen to the chapter about sexual jealousy over and over. Good for you. I feel like the universe did that on purpose right after listening. Usually that doesn't happen. That's what you experience is pretty rare, but that has to happen to some guys. As soon as they non-monogamize their lives, something just ridiculously horrible happens. She fucks some super good-looking guy, and you're like, oh shit. So yeah, I'm glad you did that. It's great. And that is not typical. It's not normal. So that's not going to be your typical experience. Is there a difference in attitude towards men having a lot of sex in the 70s and now? Very different, yes. Women didn't mind players in the 70s, not so much. Today, they don't like them. Yeah. Because she was enjoying because she was enjoying the sex like never before as she orgasmed and was moaning so loud. Did you listen to this woman have sex with this guy? I don't understand what you're saying. Were you there? I feel like a cuck deep down. I enjoy listening getting fucked. That is okay. My wife, Pink Firefly, her number one sexual thing is to watch me fuck other women. There's nothing wrong with that. Some guys are turned on by listening their women or a woman get fucked by another man. It's okay. Cuck, in the negative terminology, means you're married to a woman, you're giving her thousands of dollars, and she's out banging other dudes all day. Well, that's insanity. Don't do that. But under isolated conditions where you like, dude, let me tell you something. Should I say this? Okay, I'm gonna anonymize this a little bit. I know someone very, very well, okay? In my personal life, a man who is married to a woman I know very well. I know them both very, very, very well. I can't tell you how I know them. They've been married for 20 years. His number one fantasy is to have a guy come over and watch this guy fuck his wife, fuck the woman he's married to. And he would jerk off in the corner. He is so now she will never do this because she's a dominant Christian prude. So she'll never do it. But he would love it. And I've told this woman, let him, come on, what are you doing? That's just not appropriate. That's not what marriage is, Christian. Okay, so if you have these desires, it's okay. Just don't let them go crazy. Having sex with women after they go to the gym is perfect so they can have their post-workout protein. Okay, that was actually, Hector Perez, that was the first joke you've told that actually made me laugh. Not bad. Pretty good. What do you think about Zyn? What's ZYN? I don't know what that is. I'm not cool. I don't know what these cool things are. I feel very sad about letting go to video games. It has to be done, but I'll miss it. Hey, I miss it. I'm being real with you here. I miss playing video games. I miss playing Civilization 5. I miss playing Alien Isolation. I miss playing Baldur's Gate 2. I miss these things. I do miss them. You know what my model was for this? Amazingly, of all people, Tim Ferriss. I remember Tim Ferriss way back in like 2000 when the 4-Hour Workweek came out. When was that? 2007? In interviews, he would talk about when he was writing the book. That's the book that made him hundreds of millions of dollars. It springboarded him into this giant figure. He's made hundreds of millions. Okay, that's the book that did it. So that's the book. That's what he did to turn his life around. He would talk about he was writing the book when World of Warcraft came out. And all his buddies like, Tim, you got to check this fucking shit out. This World of Warcraft, which I played. I love that game. And he would stand there and his friends would play it. And he'd go like, oh my God, that is so awesome. Oh my God, I would love, and he would go home. I'd love to play that. He goes, I can't. I've got to write this book. Correct decision. When you say visualize your women having sex as other men as a form of reduction of jealousy, is it okay to have your women film having sex with the men and watch every second of it? Is that more powerful than just visualize to reduce jealousy? I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe. Our women aren't going to do that, though. Hottest race in WoW? The Blood Elves, of course. I'm a freak with this fantasy shit. Fucking elves and you know what? I'd rather watch, give you more TMI. If I'm jerking off, I'm not even jerk off. I'm not even jerking off. If I were to watch porn, I would rather watch, I'm serious. Because porn today is so disgusting. Porn peaked, I've said this many times, porn peaked in the 90s. 90s porn was great. The women were hot. The men looked normal. No one had any tattoos. The women were actually pretty. They mastered fake tits by then. In the 80s, fake tits look a little weird. They had normal sex. You didn't see women spitting on dicks and having cum in their face. You didn't see that stupid shit. You had normal sex. They made real sounds. Okay. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I'd rather watch the Japanese animation hentai where a guy fucks an elf than watch Pornhub. I'd rather, because it's not disgusting. It's still stupid. But again, if we do a nerd live stream, we can talk about this disgusting nerd shit. Side point on that. I just remember this. I was one-on-one coaching a guy many years ago. And this happened more than once with two different guys. This guy was coaching, good guy, great guy. Alpha male. He said, so I gotta ask you a question, Caleb. I said, you guys may want, we're coaching. It's, he's like, do you know what bronies are? I said, what's a brony? And he explained what a brony is. Some of you know what brony is. These are guys who are into My Little Pony. Okay. And they go to like conventions and shit. I didn't know any of this. This is before the furry thing too. This has been around for a long time. And he's describing all this. They go to My Little Pony and they buy My Little Pony and and these are men. These are grown men. And I said, so is this a sexual thing? Because I have no idea. He's like, oh, of course it's a sexual thing. So again, you guys who get turned on because you heard a girlfriend do what you like. We all have our weird fetishes. Do what you like, as long as it's legal. As long as it's legal and mutually consensual, go do whatever you like. Fucking hell, man. Come on. Alpha male 2.0 means you don't care about societal programming. Video games are definitely addictive. You sit down and play a while and soon 4 or 5 hours have quickly passed. Yeah, that's the problem with video games. I've been guilty of that. Not lately, but I've done that. Are you kidding? Oh my God. Playing, Baldur's Gate 2 for just hours. Fucking Civilization 5, man. I could go for hours. That's why I had to limit to 1 hour. Moses in the Bible had 2 wives. Why did God allow non-monogamy? As the Bible nowhere condemns it. Thoughts? Monogamy and societal programming. Yes, monogamy was invented by Emperor Constantine. He was the first Christian emperor in the Roman Empire. Prior to him, if you saw the TV show Rome, which is based on historical fact, if you were married in the Roman Empire, your wife didn't give a shit if you fucked other women. She didn't care at all. As long as you were home by 5 and took care of it, she didn't give a shit. There's scenes in that show, and there's in books, written, historical fiction. Well, it's happened in Rome. If you were more wealthy, there was a scene in the TV show Rome, fantastic alpha male TV show. You should absolutely watch it for 2 seasons. Where Mark Anthony wakes up, he's in bed, and his wife is getting ready, brushing her hair with the servants are brushing her hair. And she's like, you need to get up. I'm going to da-da-da. He's like, get over here and fuck me first before I get up. She's like, I'm getting ready. I can't fuck you. He's like, well, I'm not getting out of this bed until I fuck somebody. She's like, okay. Hey, Susie, can you come here and fuck him? And she grabs one of her slaves. Yes, ma'am. And the slave goes over and fucks her husband right in front of her. He comes inside her, has a great time, gets up, perfectly fine. She does not care. Only Roman Constantine, toward the end of the Roman Empire, said, this is bad. You should only have sex with one person or else you're a sinner because Christianity said that's what it started. It's all bullshit. A girl said to me she thinks that she gets bored of guys. Correct. That's women get bored of men. Correct. What does it say about her in your experience? That says that she is normal. Women get bored with men, and most men are beta males. Correct. Roosh was at the edge of getting canceled culture. He was. My mother said to me recently that she tried to commit suicide when we were kids, which haunts me now. It shouldn't haunt you. That has nothing to do with you. You might need to see a therapist. That has literally nothing to do with you. That has to do with everything with your mother. Your mother is one of those women I've talked about who should have never had kids. There's a significant percentage of women who should never, ever, 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 ever have kids. Right-wingers hate it when I say that, but I'm right. If your mother came and said to you right now, how would you react? I wouldn't react at all. I'd be like, well, I feel sorry for you, Mom. It wouldn't reflect on me at all. How do you suggest quitting coffee or weed, a slow wean or cold turkey? I'm not an expert on this, but the vast majority of the information I've received is cold turkey. The people who get off that stuff go cold turkey. Weaning, it never works. I have dated so many women who try to quit cigarettes, they vape, and they get the cartridges. Well, the cartridge has less and less nicotine. And they just smoke nicotine the rest of their lives. No. When I went off sugar, I didn't wean shit. Cold turkey. I picked the date on my calendar, a big meal the day before, and I said, that's it. No more sugar. None. My treat was French fries. That no sugar. But I couldn't dip them in ketchup. Ketchup and sugar. Motivation is to make millions and to be able to afford dating multiple women because the cost adds up, especially in the United States. You are incorrect. I was dating multiple women when I was making no money, and I was the verge of bankruptcy after my divorce. FBs require no money. I was dating multiple women, 8, 9 women at a time, while spending $0. You are incorrect. You're talking about sugar daddy game. That's only one subset of game. You say that you expect women to pay also on some dates. MLTRs, yes. Sometimes, correct. But Andrew Tate, here we go. My favorite thing. Andrew Tate says that men should pay on dates as that is alpha and you're a pussy if she pays. Ask Andrew Tate to provide data and specific objective reasons why. And he won't be able to. He has all emotion. If you had one vice or bad habit, then 2 cups of coffee each morning is the least harmful. You are like the guys who say, we got to vote for Trump. We'll still collapse under Trump, but it'll happen slow. That's the same logic you're using. Well, I mean, it's not that bad. What did I say that your current self will do? Well, it's not that bad. Having coffee is not that bad. You're an exact example. You are, that comment, Wes W., that you just posted, unless you're making a joke, is your current self rising up to protect itself. It doesn't want you to change. Gets my day started. I always say, if you want to try to be perfect, then that's when you fail. I don't drink coffee, and I make fucking mistakes all the goddamn. I'm the farthest from perfect as you can get, but I don't drink coffee. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke anything. I'm not perfect. How do we deal with emotional? Okay, dopamine's important. We need to manage it. How do we deal with emotional triggers? Most addictions are people trying to cope, and negative emotions they're trained to avoid. I'm not a psychologist or asking a question outside of my pay grade, other than going cold turkey. If those of you with real hard addictions, I'm not an expert in this area. I'm sorry. I've been able to beat my sugar addiction. But like I said, I have not beaten my bad food addiction. I want to go eat a fucking burrito right now. I want a big piece of thick pepperoni pizza with extra cheese right now. There's no sugar in that, but it's not good. So I noticed that on Tinder, a lot of these young women, like the 21-year-olds, are putting non-monogamy in their Tinder profile. Yes, that is happening more and more often. Non-monogamy is more accepted, especially if you're women in Gen Z. Correct. Left-wingers generally like non-monogamy. It's right-wingers that freak you about it. Thoughts? Maybe I'm listening to Alpha Male. Maybe they've been listening to Alpha Male 2.0. I am not. You are giving more credit. I'm not famous. I don't want to be famous. I am famous in Paraguay. In Paraguay, I am as famous as Taylor Swift because the number of people who live in Paraguay is very tiny. The number of Westerners who come to Paraguay is microscopically tiny. So in that teeny tiny market, I am a huge celebrity. So in New York or Berlin or Dubai, no one knows who I am. Paraguay, I get recognized everywhere. I just went to the American embassy to renew my passport here in Paraguay, and I'm sitting there. They confiscate your phone because America is Nazi Germany now, because you idiots have been voting for the lesser of two evils for 35 years, and you're about to do it again in November. So they confiscate your phone. So I had nothing to do with my phone, which is good. Okay. So I look up, so non-dopamine, I look up over there's like this waiting room, a bunch of people sitting around me. and I'm looking up in the window, look at the trees. I just, thinking about my life and how awesome my life is and some other good things. And I hear this voice, and this voice says, I've seen your YouTube videos. And I look down and sitting right across me is a black guy with a big white beard. And he's like, holy shit, it's you. And we start talking. Guy from South Carolina and American, moved to Paraguay. He just bought 15 acres here in Paraguay, built his dream home. He goes, it's small because it's just me. He's alone. He sounds just like me. He goes, I don't need a big house, but I want my house to be exactly the way I want it. And that's what he built his dream home on 15 acres. I think his total all in was $70,000 US. 15 acres dream home, Paraguay. Awesome. But I can recognize her in Paraguay. But outside that, no, they don't. These women don't know why. Although there are exceptions. Reading sucks. Andrew Tate said that reading is just entertaining and reading books won't make you rich. Correct. I've said that. Listings are people who read and read and read and read, never do anything. Absolutely. Andrew Tate is absolutely right about that. I have an app that reads articles to me. Okay. My sister was seeing a man who was black and was behaving. Well, are you white? What race is your sister? I don't know what race. Whenever you guys post comments, I don't know what race you are. You got to say it. If it's relevant to the story, say what race you are. I don't know what race you are. My sister, who I don't know what race she is, was seeing a man who was black and was behaving like he is alpha to the point he tried to dominate me, which I did not back down and almost fought him, which he calmed down. As I knew I could fight, I would have knocked him the fuck out. Okay? Well, first of all, you're being outcome dependent. You're not being alpha 2.0. You shouldn't care if someone tries to, hey, I'm better than you. You go, okay, great. And yes, black men are more alpha than white men. I've been saying that for 15 years. Black men are way more alpha than pussy white guys. Absolutely. Have you ever had your sister, boyfriend try to dominate you, meaning out alpha you? That would never happen because unlike you, I wouldn't care. Who do I give a shit who my sister dates? I have two sisters. I don't give a fuck. By the way, my sister is dating a black guy who's white. My big fat sister is 400 pounds, dates black guys. She's gotten divorced because monogamy doesn't work. But she divorced her black husband. She had 3 half-black kids. Divorced him. Now she has a younger black boyfriend. I don't care. Who cares? My sister can date wherever you want. I'm independent. Stop giving a fuck. Reading is the highest form of leisure activity. I would say sex is the highest form of leisure activity, but okay. But good to remember, it doesn't replace work. Correct. The book I'm reading at the moment is incredible and mind-blowingly with cool facts. That sounds very listening to me. I love these cool facts. Get out in the world and build your business, please. Stop being listening. Stop it. Being able to meditate for at least 20 minutes every day helps a lot with focus and productivity. I discussed that in the prior 2 installments of this course or of this series. I was listening to Joe Osteen book. Really? You're listening to Joe Osteen? Okay. About longevity. And on chapter 4, he said, let go of control. And you also say happiness or control. Okay. I asked you last week how Alpha Male 2.0 is niched. You answered that you are the only one. You answered that you are the only one doing what you know how to do it. But that's not why it's niched. It's niched because I teach men how to date multiple women long-term with no lying or cheating or drama. That's pretty niched. Is that a big giant industry? Can you go to Barnes & Noble and get 17 books on how men can date multiple women long-term with no lying, cheating or drama? No. So it's niched. How do you talk to women on their phones? How do you talk to women with their phones going off every 30 seconds? What I do is I look at my phone. So if I'm talking to a woman and she goes, ooh, she pulls her phone, start doing this right in the middle of a conversation. A lot of these really young girls do this. I go, okay, and I pull up my phone and I get work done. I wait till she's done. Now here's what an alpha male 1.0 would do. Here's what Andrew Tate would do. Hey, you need to put your phone away. You're with me right now. And she'll say, excuse me, fuck you. And now you have drama and conflict. I say, all right. If she's really bad about it, I've had this scenario once or twice, get up and leave. Get up and go work on your laptop. I've done it. That's when she's really bad. She just can't pull away. Fine. Get some work done. Let her fuck around. And then when she's done, fuck her. I mean, literally, have sex with her when she's done. And if that bothers you, she does not qualify for MLTR. It's certainly not for OLTR. FB only. If you're dating a high-end NLTR or OLTR is doing this, you fucked up. You think I would have made Pink Firefly my OLTR if she was on her phone like this in her face while she's talking to me all the time? No, I wouldn't. This is excellent content. Thank you. It's painful to hear, but I need to re-listen to this whole series. Yes, again, re-listen to the first two parts of the series. Yeah. How are we doing on time? You know what? Hang on. I need to check my schedule here. We're going a little long today. Or I got to go to a little bit. What the fuck? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Let me take a drink of water. Here. By the way, dopamine, the only thing I drink is water. Reverse osmosis water. I'm getting my water filtration system in my year-round Dubai apartment installed tomorrow morning. The same one I have in Dubai. I'm very happy. But I don't drink Pepsi, Coke, Gatorade, milkshakes, alcohol. That's the shit you guys are drinking. That's all spikes dopamine, and it ruins your life, makes you premature aging, all kinds of health problems as you get older. I just drink water. That's all I drink. Which pisses people off when I go out. Everyone's drinking alcohol, I'm drinking water. Like, don't you want to have alcohol too? No, I don't. You can get drunk as fuck as you want. It's fine. I'm drinking water. How do I have multiple FBs and LTRs in Dubai while making only 100K? There are poor guys getting laid with women in Dubai. It just takes longer and more work. Your income has nothing to do with the number of women you date in Dubai. It's just the time and effort to get to those women. Okay? Getting women is already hard. In Dubai, if you're poor, yes, it's going to be hard. You can do it. I don't want to work 5 times as hard. You don't need to work 5 times as hard, but you have to work probably twice as hard. If you don't like that, don't live in Dubai. Go to Park. AI is now making it possible to say everything you hear or social media is fake. Correct. It plays right in the elite's hands. I've done an entire podcast on exactly that problem. I did an entire video a year ago saying we're not ready for this. This is going to be a mess. Yes, correct. This is one of the best presentations you've ever done, I think. Cool. No fap can be a good thing. It motivates you to get new women in your life. So if you're doing no fap temporarily and you say, as soon as I fuck 2 new girls, I can start jerking off again, that's fine. That's not what I see out there with no fap. I don't see that. I don't see guys saying, hey, man, you should do no fap just until you fuck a new girl. Then you can jerk off all you want. I don't see that. I say, don't. And I hear is, don't masturbate. It's bad. Monk mode is a dangerous analog to one-itis. Yeah. You are out dating and you get tired and pick the best one versus going cold turkey. Well, that's monogamy. That also doesn't work. So that's what most alpha males do. Pickup artists, red pill guys. They bang a bunch of girls. They pick one they like. They get, quote, busy with work or complacent. They let other ones, and then they become de facto monogamous to that one woman. Stupid. Many people in Alpha Male 2.0 do this, unfortunately. Alpha Male 2.0 for a while, and then they get complacent and lazy because they have this one girl, but she sucks my dick whenever I want, Caleb. And then they get de facto monogamous, which is a huge mistake. I have never done that in 17 years. 17 years straight, I have been no monogamy and no dry spells for me 17 years straight. I am one of the few men in the entire internet who can say that. I may be the only content provider in the entire world who can say that honestly. I might be. Because pickup artists go through monogamy phases. They go through dry spells. Okay, red pill guys go through dry spells, or they go through monk mode, or they get monogamous for a while and they break up. I might be the only guy in the world on the internet who can say that. 17 years. I walk my talk. Ancient men had access to weed. Why is it bad dopamine? We already discussed that. Ancient men in certain areas had access to, okay, weed again. Yep, we discussed that. Let's see. You said anthropological record shows everybody fucked everybody. I was exaggerating. That is not true. Not everybody fucked everybody, but there was a lot of fucking going on, which is completely false, as most hunter-gatherers were monogamous. That is incorrect also. So you're misquoting me. I didn't say everybody was. If I said I was joking, that's not true. But they were not monogamous. Hunter-gatherers were not monogamous. You are incorrect. Only a few of the best men had more than one wife. Monogamous means they were only fucking their wife. Hunter-gatherers were fucking lots of people, not just their wife. They might have been pair bonded, but they weren't monogamous. Pair bonding and monogamy are two different things. It's a very hard concept when you are conservative. Your name is Alan Don Saji, so I can tell you're probably raised in a conservative environment. This will be a difficult concept for you. You can be pair bonded to one girl and still fuck a bunch of other girls. You're not monogamous. You're non-monogamous while being pair bonded, which is what I am. I have a wife, but I fuck other women. I'm pair bonded, but I'm not monogamous. Doesn't dopamine give you motivation and keeps you going? Can't use dopamine strategically. We discussed that. I do something similar to the ancient man question. I asked myself, could the high school me do this 20 years ago? Yeah, that's a good question. Usually ask when I relate to my use of technology and excessive content consumption. Great question. I've kind of had that thought when I was in high school in the 80s. So that was more than 20 years ago. So yeah, in the 80s, could I have done this? Right. Could I have just watched porn after porn after porn after porn for 8 hours straight in the 80s? No. We had porn in the 80s. It was on video cassette. You could rewind and watch the same clip. I did that in the 80s when I was a kid. You'd rewind. You'd be jerking your little dick when you're like, 15 years old, and you'd watch a scene of porn, and then it'd be over. Like, well, fuck. And you get the remote. Where's the remote? You look at the bed. Oh, here it is. You rewind it, and you rewind it. They go backwards with the things on the screen. You go, okay, right here. Okay. Okay, now I can keep jerking off. Okay, good. Polyamory is clearly unnatural. Are you the same guy? Yes. Wasn't the norm. Not polyamory. Polyamory was the norm. Polygamy was the norm, and having sex with multiple partners was the norm. Polyamory is not the norm. I'm not polyamorous. Polyamory is a very niche lifestyle. I'm 27, living a digital nomad lifestyle. I'm currently in Eastern Europe, and I found a great girl I love. Uh-oh. But said if I fuck other women, she will leave. How do I handle this? You have a discussion. You have the talk and then the OLTR talk. First you have the talk, then you have the OLTR talk. I don't think you've been doing the cardinal rules. I think you were monogamous and said I want to fuck other girls and she got mad. That's a mistake most men do. You have a discussion. I'm never going to be 100% monogamous. But I'm going to use condoms. I will never date them. I'm never going to bring them home. No one will know. You preempt all the objections. And if you've done everything right, she'll get mad and then she'll come back in 3 days and keep being with you. If you haven't done any of the cardinal rules, you're just pretending like being a monogamous boyfriend, it's not going to work. She'll leave. And it's your fault. What about having a picture of two girls get motivated like a vision board? That's different. I talk about looking at visual sexual imagery while masturbating. I had for many years. I could even pull it up. Maybe I should pull this up. I had a picture, 2 or 3 pictures of my ideal woman I wanted to marry under an OLTR non-monogamous marriage. And this woman looks almost like Pink Firefly's twin sister. Her name is, you can't Google her though, because this is from a long time ago. Hang on, I'll see if I can find this picture. It's not the only picture, but it's one of the main ones. If I can't find this in a few seconds, I'll skip it. I don't want to say who this person is, but I'll show a picture. See if I can find it really quick. I'm going to give this 10 seconds. Let's see if we can. Oh, okay. There's one picture of her. That's not exactly the picture I'm talking about. Shit. Where is she? Nah, I can't find it. Anyway, so yes, you can have another picture of, I can say these people's names, I won't. But yes, your ideal woman as part of a vision board, great. Do that. It worked for me. Boy, did it work for me. Holy shit, did it work for me. I married a woman who looked almost exactly like the 2 or 3 pictures I had been. Blonde, long blonde hair, big tits, nice hips, little body. That's Pink Firefly. Yeah. Having a powerful laptop like a MacBook Pro is a great investment when doing work so the computer won't crash. Agreed. Is it beta to feel nervous about giving the girl you like the talk? No. If you do it, you're not beta. Betas don't give women the talk. They just say, okay, I'll do whatever you want. So you can feel nervous and still do the talk. It's fine. She's giving me signs she will not put up with it. You're the same guy. Just do it, and she probably won't put up with it. If you've been acting like a beta your entire relationship, she probably won't put up with it. You have to not make this mistake again with the next girl. Do you listen to metal music like Nightwish or Powerwolf? I've never heard of either one of those. If they're new, I haven't heard of them. I'm an old school 80s guy. I would eat frozen fruit covered in honey. That's a good dessert. Honey is natural, but it's still pure sugar, so I can't do honey. Which countries do you suggest a Western Indian man go to have better dating prospects? You're going to have problems as an Indian man no matter where you go because of your own false societal programming. Indian men have the worst sexual programming of any man in the world, of any culture in the world, including the Middle East. You got to work on yourself. Okay? And then go to any Western country. Caleb, you are a legend. Love your content. You're very welcome. With the extinction of the white race, that's not going to happen in our lifetimes. Don't you think it's going to be hard to find and date women? That's not going to happen in our lifetimes. The extinction of the white race will occur, but not in our lifetimes. The collapse of the Western world will occur in your lifetime. The AI takeover, if it happens, will happen in your lifetime. Extinction of the white race is not going to happen. You'll be long dead. So long. How many video games do you let your kids play? I have two different answers for that. Back when I was raising my kids, when I was married, I was a beta male, and I let my wife at the time take care of that. So they played quite a bit of video games. Nintendo 64, and I played with them. Today, I'd have different rules if I had kids now. Are stimulant meds okay for ADHD? No, they're not. Antidepressants and stimulant are terrible ideas. I'm not a doctor. Don't take my advice. I think they're horrible. Rate my 5 flag setup. Main flag, Bucharest, Romania. If you live in Europe, I'm not going to like it. I don't care if Andrew Tate likes Romania. Okay? Poorest country in Europe, or one of them. So I don't like that you live in Europe. That's not good. Dubai would be my tax flag for registered business. Fine. Brazil is my dating and vacation flag. Fine. If something happens in Romania, I can fly to Dubai only 5 hours. Not ideal, but okay. Better than living in the United States. Better than living in UK. Recording yourself, repeating your own affirmations, and playing them back to yourself is a really good idea. I've been doing that for years. Yeah. Really good book on that is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. Hi, Caleb. I'm a really introverted and gregarious guy. Cool. And can enter new social circles easily. Cool. That's great. I don't have that ability, so that's great. I have to work. I'm socially calibrated, but I'm an introvert, so I could do it, but I don't like to. How do I integrate a dating MLTR for the same social circles? I have written several articles on my blogs about that. The bottom line is you can't do it easily. Sorry. FBs you can. MLTRs are tricky. You can't have MLTRs in the same social circle. So the least bad way to do this, you have different circles. You have your jujitsu circle. You've got your country western dance circle. You have your Dungeons and Dragons circle. Right? You have these different circles, and you get one MLTR per circle. You can't have multiple MLTRs at the same circle. They'll talk, and you'll have a problem. FBs you can if you're careful. MLTRs you can't. FBs don't get jealous. MLTRs get very jealous. Thoughts on Saudi Arabia getting involved in boxing and UFC as promoted as Riyadh season? Yes. Riyadh specifically, Riyadh. Sorry, I keep calling it Riyadh. Riyadh, which I'm going this year. I'm going to Riyadh. Saudi Arabia is trying to become the next Dubai. They are duplicating the Dubai model because they see the writing on the wall where electric cars and all that shit. They've got to become a tourist financial power like Dubai has. They got to get off oil. MBS understands this. He's a young enough guy to understand that, even though he's a murderer, but he understands he's got to. So, yes, you're going to see big positive, you already are seeing them now, big positive changes in Saudi Arabia. Your last several years have been crazy good for Saudi Arabia. Crazy good. Saudi Arabia is also one of the places that, that's a long story. Caleb, I wish I started a location-independent business, started up a healthcare business that is in high demand. I'll have to deal with U.S. red tape. I'll look at your Alpha 2, put on business after a year. Why are you waiting a year? I don't get it. Do you have a reading routine on this paleo plan? No, a reading routine? No, I don't have a routine. I just try to read when I can. I love my employees, but it's not exactly easy. As you said, the perfect business is location dependent. No employees, just contracted third parties. That's correct. I have a large team of people in all my companies. I have no employees. Correct. What your opinion, any important things I missed? No, you didn't miss it. Is it okay to prioritize getting location-dependent income before even thinking about 5 flags, non-monogamy, lockstep? I've answered this question many times. Which part of your life bothers you more right now? Sex or money? Which one is a bigger problem for you? If I say sex or money, which is the bigger problem? Your brain goes, this one. So work on that first. If it's sex, work on non-monogamous. Get 2 women on rotation. 2 cute girls. That's all you need. Alpha male 2.0 minimum for happiness. 2, not 1, not 0, not 3 or 4. Minimum is 2 FBs or MLTRs, but FBs are easier, who are at least cute to you. They can't be average looking to you. They can't be ugly to you. At least they don't have these Instagram 10s. At least cute to you. You're golden. Get 2. 3 is better, but 2 is a minimum. It's fine. Then you can roll right into your business. This is not John Anthony lifestyle where you didn't fuck 1,000 women. Okay? This is not Andrew Tate. You need to have 16 wives in your house who yell at you and throw you in prison. Okay? This is real simple. 2 women on rotation, FBs or MLTRs, who are at least cute. That's it. Achievable by any man listening to my words. Very achievable goals. Alpha male 2.0 is achievable by any man in the world. I'm not Grant Cardone that says you need to make $100 million, you're a loser. $85,000 a year, location dependence, all most of you need. If you want to make more, make a lot more, then make more. That's great. Some of you need to make more. You live in Dubai or United States, or, not United States. You live in Dubai the rest of your life, you're going to need to make a little more to live a quality life. Live in Paraguay, shit, you don't even make that much. No problem. I struggle with being fun or flirty with girls. I'm just meeting for a first date and don't know well yet. This year has been hard. Any advice for improving confidence and positive vibes? Well, I'll tell you what I did. I've talked to this in my blogs years ago. When I was doing this stuff, going lots of first dates, I had CIFS, 6. Before walking into the bar or the first day or the deli or the Starbucks, wherever we're meeting, I pull out my phone and review 6. C, confident. Confident. Fake it till you make it. If you don't feel confident, act it. C. I don't give a shit. If I ever see her again, I'll come into minutes. So C, confident. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Okay? CIF. F, funny. Make her laugh a little bit. Don't be a clown, but be funny. CIFS, sexually aggressive. On first and second dates. No still means no. I was going to say that for legal reasons. No means no. If she says no, stop and leave. Outside of that, sexually aggressive. You can't just sit there and hope that she'll rip her clothes off and jump on you. It's not going to work. You do that. Just read the Count of Monte Cristo for your recommendations. Yes, one of the best books ever written in all of human history. Absolutely. An old blog post, one of the best I've ever read. Yep, it's awesome. It's difficult to read, but it's awesome. Anyway, read anything good lately? You should do more book review blog posts. I'm reading a lot. Not a lot. I read not a real lot. Not reading as much as I used to because I'm too busy working. There's a few things I'm reading right now, but I'll talk about this later. Why don't you have a Get Residency Columbia service? Because I am not nomad capitalist. I'm not covering the entire planet. I niche the top 4 countries in the world to get residencies. Colombia is not super easy to get residency. You've got to buy a house there. $160,000 US to get residency. Can most guys afford that? No. That's why. I've gotten over my recent bad one-itis by sleeping with other women. It's the best remedy. Correct. How do you mitigate women flaking on dates? You check in with them the day before and the morning of, and you don't go if you don't hear back. What about the one time where they try to jump out of a moving car? Is that a joke? Do you think having pictures of girls for the visitation stage will affect your dopamine? What's the visitation stage? I don't have a visitation stage. Visitation stage? What if I get my dopamine from Killing Jones? I am the source of all dopamine. Enjoying watching other women fuck your girls may be a sign of porn addiction too. You get used to seeing it and turned on. I don't know about that. I'm not a psychologist. If you're a psychologist, you can make that claim. If you're not a psychologist, I think you're pulling it out of your ass. I don't know if that's true or not. Is it possible to be addicted to sex on Alpha Male 2.0, where you become obsessed with dopamine of banging? If you're an Alpha Male 2.0 who fucks lots of new girls, yes. Some of you guys might have had that problem. I had that problem years ago. I'm self-aware enough to know that, hey, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I would go on the dating sites looking for new girls when I already had like 6 or 7 smoking hot girls. And I would stop myself, why am I doing this? And my brain said, well, because I can. I can fuck anyone I want now. Let's fuck some more girls. I'm like, wait a minute, but why? How does this fit in my overall happiness plan? And I go, oh, I guess it doesn't. So yeah. It's not Alpha Male 2.0. It's if you're getting good at fucking lots of new hot girls. Yes, a lot of men go through this. Celebrities go through this. A lot of my pickup artist buddies from pickup artists went through this. If you get really good at banging lots of hot new girls all the time, your brain goes, well, great, let's get some more. Why not? All right, party time. And it's like, wait a minute, why? Why? You stop yourself. Zyn is often flavored nicotine pouches that go under your lip. Then it's a drug. Nicotine is a drug. Coffee is a drug. Therefore, it is bad. You guys are talking about night elves and Draenei. Draenei for chicks, they were too tall. I don't like tall girls. Night elves were cute. Night elves did the cute stripper dance. You want to hear something funny from World of Warcraft? When it first came out, my daughter, who was now in her 20s, she was like 4, and she would play World of Warcraft, and she would always be a night elf, okay? And she'd be running around the entry area for night elves. This is how horny my daughter was. She's my daughter, so she has my genes, right? So she's running around. She's 4 years old. 4 or 3. I think she was 4. 3.5, probably 4. I go, Alyssa, you're not supposed to go there. You go over there. She's like, Dad. She turns to me and looks at me. She goes, Dad, I'm looking for hot guys. And then she turns back to the screen and keeps running around. 4 years old. Chip off the old block now. A guy I know wants to wear a bra over his shirt or jacket to get over his social anxiety. Reckon this is a good idea? Yeah, it can. Pickup artists and then the snake diet guy, Cole Robinson, they do things like they wear a rubber penis on their forehead. They tape their forehead and they pick up chicks. Yeah. It helps build outcome independence. Yes. I doubt a brony was an alpha. He was having sex with multiple women. Most of you aren't. So there you go. He was. Cold turkey is the way to go. You could become an elite in Paraguay. Could you become an elite in Paraguay if you wanted to? Could I or could anyone? I could, yes. I just had a conversation. I was at a party last night with a bunch of people from the Netherlands. I'm making friends down here. I'm actually being social. Billy was like, you went to a party and being social? What the fuck? Long conversation about that. He knows people in government. Yeah, these smaller countries, Doug Casey's talked about this. You go from 0 to the highest levels of power in these small little countries. Doug Casey's doing this to African countries. So yeah, I could. I don't want to. That's the opposite of Alpha Male 2. Being an elite would be the opposite of Alpha 2. But no, I have no interest. Yeah, I could. If I made a goal to like start running shit down here, yeah, sure. The super elite in Paraguay is Cortes. He is their version of a billionaire. He's not a billionaire, but it's their version of it. And he owns everything. He owns all the restaurants and all the chains and all the banks and some of the banks. He has a background in narco stuff, but now he's gone legit. And it's a big, long story. Caleb, man, just wanted to say Alpha Male 2.0 works. Wife is more attractive and nicer since I've been seeing someone else. Frame counts a lot. Dude, Pink Firefly didn't have six-pack abs when I was dating her. Now she does. I wonder why. As soon as we moved to Dubai, she's like, oh, my God. And she saw the pictures of women I was seeing. Oh, my God, I got to kick this shit up. Yeah, my wife's way hotter now. That's great. And she was hot to begin with. My wife has bigger tits and a more fit body than when I started dating her. And she was hot when I was dating her. What to do when you need to be able to sell if starting an Alpha 2.0 business, but you've been in sales but little success. What to do if you know you need to be able to sell, but you've been in sales but have little success. Join the 90-day business builder 90daybizbuilder.com. We show you exactly how to do that. These guys who I profiled a week or two ago were making $30,000, $8,000 right, from clients. They had no sales experience. One of them had some. One of them had some marketing experience. Excuse me. None of them had sales experience. The best way to find out a biggest niche's problem is talk to 20 different people in the niche and ask them. If PF had changed her mind about wanting kids with you, would you have dumped her or would you say, okay, let her do the work? Walk us through how that conversation would go. I can kind of do that. So I got to go soon. I've been going a long time. I got it. You guys are still around. Okay, a few more questions and I got to go. I'll answer this one. No, a few more questions. How would that conversation go? So Pink Firefly comes to me right now and says, I want children. I wouldn't say, no, I'm alpha male 2.0. Okay, you can have kids. I'll make you pregnant. That's fucking hot. I have high testosterone, so I have all kinds of impregnation fantasies with a lot of women. All right, I'll pregnant. I'll put a baby inside you, bitch. Great. Here's the deal. You are going to do 95% of the child rearing work. Number one. Number two, I'm going to give you a budget for how much money you can spend on the kids. And that's what I will contribute. She has her own money. You could contribute your own money however you want. But don't think I'm going to shower money on these kids and spend a bunch of fucking time on these kids. You wanted kids, so I will give you kids and you can deal with the kids. If you recall, sweetheart, I didn't want kids. And you said you didn't want kids. I'm not changing my mind just because you did. If you have a problem with any of this, there's the door. That's what I'm saying. And knowing Pink Firefly, she'd say, okay. Knowing her personality. Now, Pink Firefly is never going to come to me wanting kids. Other women will. Other women have. Different story. But Pink Firefly, not in her DNA. She knows. She's self-aware enough that it will stress her the fuck out. Where did this paleo-compatible term come from? I made it up. I said this earlier on the live stream. I invented the term. It is mine. Is there a book we read about it? No, I just invented it a few weeks ago. Nope. Ruining your life. You mean like raising a black stepson as a white man. Sad joke of a little manlet you are. Yes, I was back when I did it when I was 25 years old. Yeah, like 25 years ago. Yeah, I was a total fucking pussy back when I did that. Correct. Don't do that now. I was 25 years ago. Very different man back then. I was a beta man. Apart from /shadow. Let's see. Hang on. Apart from /shadow, what other deals do you have in store for us 2025 and beyond? One at a time, brother. One at a time. Why is martial arts so helpful for business and women? Confidence. Confidence. Alchemy, independence, and confidence are critical for business and women. Alchemy, independence is one thing. Confidence. 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 Guys who are very skilled in martial arts tend to be very confident. Right? Right. Guys who've never been in a fight with their entire lives, they might be confident, they might not be. They might pretend to be confident, they aren't. Why is Andrew Tate so confident? What's his background? Why am I so confident? Martial arts background. Joe Rogan, why is he confident? Helps. Why? How to get better at social interactions. Ask a question, listen to the answer, then ask a question based on the answer you just gave, repeat. Do you like Merciful Fate? Never heard of them. Excellent, highly influential 80s band. How come I've never heard of them then? I don't think they were highly influential. I know 80s. I don't understand where you got this information about ancient man was not monogamous. Correct, they weren't monogamous. They were pair bonded, but not monogamous. Right. Almost every evolutionary biologist today says that different. Send me some links. Give me 3 links to evolutionary biologists that said that cavemen were monogamous. Go ahead, give me at least 3. Go ahead, but you can't do it. Incorrect. I've done my own research. Can't say an alpha 2.0 biz now as I'm only focused on one thing. If I do 2 things, I understand. Just like today's Western society, serial monogamy was the norm. Some cheated and some had multiple pair-bonded wives. Multiple pair-bonded wives is not monogamy. You're proving my point. Just like today, we rarely see polygamous. You can't compare today to ancient man. Whole different scenario. I'm not talking about today. But today, people aren't monogamous either. They get divorced and they cheat or cheat. Google Cobra Baby. She's Andrew Tate's main chick. I think you guys have the same Tates and women. Chasing women. I've seen some of those women. They're okay. Cobra baby with three Ys. All right, I'll do it real quick. Cobra baby. I don't see her. Sophia, is that her name? Let's see. See if she's my type or not. Cobra baby with three Ys. She is absolutely not my type in the face. She is absolutely not my type in the tits. She has an ass that I like, and that's it. So no, we are not. If that's her, that she's not my type. No, thank you. She's not bad. She's not my type. Could you not argue in terms of paleo-compatible tons of laptop work is not appropriate, but manual labor is? Correct. But how are you going to build an alpha male 2.0 business on digging ditches all day? So you have to submit to the realities of the world. It's not good that I sit for hours a day typing on a keyboard. But that's why I lift weights 4 times a week, get 8 hours of sleep every night, drink shitloads of water, do cardio 2 times a week, 3 times a week, have sex several times a week. I offset that as best I can. But no, it should be way better if I'm working outside. But how do you build an online location-dependent alpha 2.0 company by working in your garden? Can't. Airplane internet isn't paleo. Porn as convenient as those. How can one actually get with this inconsistency or hypocrisy? What? I don't understand what you're saying. I never said don't fly a plane. As convenient as those airplane. I don't understand what you're saying. Rewrite your comment. I understand. I imagine cavemen seeing other cavemen fuck in the wild. This seems like pick and choose your job. I addressed that. I specifically addressed that. Go back and watch the replay. Cavemen can watch other people fuck in the wild. That's not porn. I addressed that. Go watch the replay. Does this include a Discord, Telegram group, or chat? Does what include it? You mean the immersion thing? No, but I can throw that in there. If you guys want, you sign up and you have that suggestion, I'll do it. Merciful Fate is one of Metallica's most black metal strongest influences. Oh, if it's black metal, speed metal, it wasn't into that. It was into normal metal. King Diamond is their front man. If you know him, you think you might like him. If it's the kind of metal where you go, I don't like that. I'm not into that metal. I'm into like Judas Priest type of metal. All right. I have to go. If you want to hang out with me 12 hours a day, 4 hours, 4 days straight, remotely, on a live stream, watch everything I do, including, my women, including my work, everything. Caleb, www.caleb.top/shadow. Discount code is November, but that's $500 off. That expires in about a week. Cool? All right. See you soon.